Oh, good morning, handsome motherfuckers and motherfuckettes. It's another great morning to learn a little bit more about how to unlock and level up our most alpha of Giga Chads. Is there ever a morning that passes that you don't think to yourself, what could I be doing to increase my harem? You know what I'm saying? Who amongst us knows that our fathers, forefathers, and all of our ancestors before us would be so proud of us if we could just say that we had even three loyal, self serving slaves? You know what I'm saying? If this sounds like an insane way to open up a podcast, then you will quickly understand why the topic at hand has been so talked about. That being, we're just going to jump right into it. Alpha Dom, TikTok's latest dating coach sensation, if you will, uh, became popular through one specific video. And as thank you, Heather 19. Welcome to the party, pal. What did I walk into? Oh, buckle up. Let me tell you. We are about to get hit with so much wisdom, so much forbidden jutsu, truly the most archaic of martial arts of dating. Your minds are going to be blown like never before, truly. We as a collective internet discovered this man through one video, but the more that we've gotten to see and learn about him, the more the more we learn. I can certainly say that. I'll just I'll just throw you kids right into the deep end of the pool as we get started with kind of the most iconic video that brought this professional dating coach that helps men unlock the secrets of women to light, so to say. Now, the original video was deleted. However, a good chunk of it was re-uploaded and reacted to by my mutual none other than Bar None. So I'm going to go ahead and let him showcase the original footage here. He does a great job.
You do not have to accept her rejection.
Huh. Are you fucked? That's an odd start. Let's see where it goes.
I'm a professional dating coach, and I teach guys how to understand the female mind.
Huh?
Uh-huh. Professional seems crazy. Dating seems unlikely. And coach, I wouldn't trust you with your best-looking cousin, let alone a T-ball team. But I digress.
Here's an example. I was talking to a girl,
Oh, no.
Unlikely. Sorry, keep going.
and she said, I'm not
Savage.
really interested.
Oh, that makes more
And
sense.
instead of just going, okay, and then just turning away, I did this. Why would you not be interested in me? I'm the best.
At what? Knots? I don't know what your name is, but for the sake of the video, we're just going to call you Silas.
And she's like, oh, how?
That's so sad too, because I actually like the name Silas.
I'm like, well, you would have to come over to my house to find out.
Don't go, bitch. You already know how to put the lotion on the skin.
I just played into her little fucking game.
Yeah, a woman's no is never won game of the year. Because it's not a game, you dork.
You want to know what I did with her later?
Wore her skin, I'd imagine. And there's no more seconds after that. That's how he decided to end the video. So that guy can get fucked. I don't even want to do a merge plug. Fuck it. Have a good day. Goodbye.
I gotta say, I think we can all agree there's a pretty high demand by both the men and the women for a return of the dominant man, right? I think we hear this a lot from all sides of the aisle. Everybody wants men who can work, who are dominant, who are leaders, who have this fierce charismatic energy that makes you want to submit. It's kind of championed everywhere in the media by everyone. Even feminists ultimately have expressed this desire for a strong figurehead in many different accounts, right? However, if you are going to, honest to God, try and help men with their relationships with women, I feel like he and I are on completely polar opposite ends of the spectrum. It's almost like he's a wannabe advocate in a way, right? He's trying to give men advice that will help women, but it does seem true that there's some kind of missing experience here. Like, has he never been slapped in the face before, or had a woman start screaming at him? Because I would say, if that's one of his number one pieces of advice, is, fellas, you don't have to accept rejection. You can just keep going. That's, if you've been watching my channel for a while, or we've interacted at any point, I think we're gonna agree. My advice steers more toward learn to accept rejection, right? You will face a lot of rejection in life. And by the time you start accepting it, you eventually get so good at it that your interactions become so much more successful because you are not constantly getting hung up at it. You know what I'm saying? To keep it pushing, though, let's play a fun little game called All the Fun Things That Could Happen If You Don't Accept a Woman Saying No. Let's begin, chat. Does anybody have any suggestions for fun things that often happen to men when they continue approaching a woman who has blatantly and plainly rejected him? Jail, prison, accusation of harassment, I would say rightfully so, stalking charges, fairy tale ending. He's like, listen, Alpha Dom is not for the faint of heart, but if you truly are looking to secure the bag, this is what's up. And we will get into it, guys. Don't worry. I would never forbid you from this cryptic wisdom, from this deep Super Saiyan level powers. We will learn together. I promise you. Restraining order, bullets. Are we allowed to say bullets? Has that word been taken off the list yet? I was waiting for someone to say pepper spray. Thank you. I think we can move on to the next point now that someone finally said mace. But that all being said, I mean, one would not simply come onto TikTok, the world's most popular social media platform internationally, and just offer that kind of wisdom without some kind of experience, right? I mean, obviously, this guy has to have Riz. He has to be the Wizard of Oz to know how to pull like this. There's got to be something, right? And don't you worry, okay? Testicular trauma, that's another good one. Which one do I want to start with exactly? I think I'm just going to jump right into, of all the pieces of advice that I kind of like scrolled through on Alpha Dom's channel, which this is it right here. 10,000 followers, pretty substantial. He's officially monetized, which is great. You know, get that bag, Alpha Dom. He's got a lot of content, most of which seems to be recorded in his car, almost exclusively. So it's really inspirational, actually, that you can potentially live in a car and still allegedly have 6 to 7 consistent, regular women who offer themselves up to you as your submissive servants. Let I gotta give you guys some context here, don't I? This is the video that most stood out to me. It's gonna feel very chaotic and will not make much sense. So, to give you just like a spoonful of understanding before we even jump into it, this is him essentially having some kind of beef, like some kind of back and forth with a creator. Um, and they're commenting and responding to each other. And this is him trying to prove that he knows more about like the kink BDSM culture than these TikTok creators do. And the way that he proves it is well, I'll let you just see for yourselves.
Yeah, we don't know anything about that. Maybe we should.
No, not choking. My weakness, the thing I can't do. Only vanilla people, know about that and do that too. Oops, sorry, my bad. Anyways, he's a specimen. Can we all agree on that? Like, he is like fucking like Nord God, like fucking shit. Okay. Now keep in mind what I say about.
This is a very strange clap back when it's like kind of actually like a butt slap too. Um, Look, you know me, I have no need to come in here and roast anyone's physical appearance as my points of contention. And to be quite honest, like, not even the lisp is really something to make fun of. I myself had a speech impediment for a very long time in my life. I had a lisp to where I couldn't say my R's. So for, I believe until I was like 12 or 13, I was saying my name is like Lowen, like I like to smell flowers. You know what I mean? Like it happens to the best of us. The one thing that's a choice is that this might seem like a petty thing, and I'm not going to claim that I never swear. However, it's a sign of a lack of intelligence, in my opinion, when you insert the word fucking in between every other word. And it's not dominant. It's actually not. It's very clumsy and unnecessarily aggressive. It's almost adolescent. And like, again, I'm not going to claim that I never throw in an F bomb. But one theme that I found when watching this guy's stuff is that it's almost like he can't even get through half of a sentence without at least 3 F bombs. And it's giving childish. Like it is giving. I watched way too much South Park, and the majority of my sexual experience actually comes from binge watching South Park in the basement and eating hot Cheetos, as opposed to like true one-on-one meaningful connections. I don't know though. Could be wrong.
Looks and what looks end up getting you. Does anybody want to iron, by the way? Like a crazy urge to iron. Anyways, so I
Can someone explain that comment to me? Like, I think I might be an idiot. What does he mean when he says, "Does someone have the sudden urge to iron?" Is he talking about like, God, I guess I'm either bad at being a girl or kind of bad at being a judgmental person, because like, is he dissing how her hair looks? Because it looks like she just kind of has naturally curly hair, but like that kind of happens when you have curly hair. It is like when you let it naturally curl, sometimes the underside just like mats and it's kind of like baby hair. I'm just trying to find my way glory. I I wouldn't have like, and it, like, because that's another sign of unintelligence to me, is going for ad hominem stuff. First of all, First of all, it's weird to be beefing over who's kinkier. Un- Unless, I guess, here's the thing, unless I guess your kink is competitively being the best at kink, that look, as long as everyone agrees to it, as long as everyone, and you know what, if they turned on stitches, which it looks like this is a direct stitch to the, it could be, is a reply a stitch? Oh no, he just made, yeah, because it's, okay, because I think over a minute the volume gets cut on TikTok. So I don't think this is a stitch. I think this is an indirect edit, and he's just kind of citing the creator. It's like when two rap artists create beef with each other. Both of these creators are super cringe. I've seen the creator he's responding to. Right. I mean, I'm not saying that anyone who would take their time to engage in a battle of wits to which you can expect this dude to show up unarmed is also at any point much better. But I will say, if you are gonna do this like epic clapback own video, like, don't go all ad hominem and start attacking her physical appearance. That's so low. That's not very alpha to me. To me, a true, I don't know, argue with me if you want, but to me, I'm not going to respect a man enough to submit to him if he treats other human beings terribly. Does that make sense? Like, to me, I think that there's definitely something to being an alpha, being a more dominant man who kind of leads spaces and has people drawn to him. I think there's a certain type, and I think that there is a lot to be said for certain methods of self-improvement that can lead you to having the confidence to be that kind of person. Absolutely. But a big part of that is having the confidence to stick to your principles, stick to some kind of foundational principles that don't rely on like childish juvenile, like, yeah, well, you're fat approaches, when you could just be making effective counterpoints, right? Like, dude, you know what would be an epic like kink clapback is if he was like, actually, you had your hand placement wrong, all that's going to do is damage this part when this is the part that's actually going to release this. I don't my choke game is pretty weak, guys. I know I do jujitsu, but like there's nothing sexual about jujitsu, so it's not even in the same Venn diagram for me. So I don't really know about this, but that would be that, I feel like that would be more appropriate than just like coming for her hair, especially when it's like, how are you gonna come for her hair? I use the word fudge a lot, admittedly, and people who just use it unnecessarily make their statements sound tough are honestly just annoying. I'm assuming you censored it, but you meant that you actually swear, Alden Lion. Thank you again. But yeah, it does get annoying after a while where you're just like saying it over and over again. But yeah, dude, like, can you like come with even like the slightest coif or like chignon if you're gonna be coming for her hair? It's like again, we don't need to come for physical appearance, but we do if that is now the premise of your argument. I don't know. Thank you. Authenticity and kindness is sexy. Absolutely. That's it. That's all I was trying to say. You said it way better.
I sure hope he's not wasting
So
his looks
anyway,
on one girl.
oh my God.
Because honestly,
Whoa, okay. So he's like gassing the dude up though. I don't know why like he's excluding him from the beef, even though he's participating in her clapback. It's like a weird, I don't know, is that part of like being an alpha dom that you have to, because I was just at the zoo with my 7-year-old, and we learned that like gorillas in packs, they have to like kneel and like do certain subservient gestures to the main lead gorilla in the pack in order to even like be accepted without having the ever living shit beat out of him on a regular basis. Is that actually in some way like affected like or enacted in human behavior as well? Is he saying like, well, actually, because if so, I think he did, I think he just submitted to a more dominant male? Is that part of being an alpha dom, is like occasionally bending the knee to like giga ear chads? Is that part of it? I don't know. He'll teach me everything that I need to know though. But seriously, truly, every trigger warning in the world, because it's literally about to get like unbelievably weird, bro.
Honestly, that couldn't be me.
Two girls and some ties. It's about as kinky as I can get on TikTok, probably, before they.
This is like the worst time for this. I'm gonna cut back and read this. You may realize I was in a very really abusive relationship and have since gotten into one where I'm appreciated and treated right. Thank you so much for making a huge change in my life. Yo, Adam, let's go. I actually love getting messages like that. It's the cream in my coffee. It's the butter on my bread. It is truly the gas in my tank. But yeah, back to this. So we went from like, oh, you think choking is the right way to be a true alpha dom? Let me just get into my Always Sunny in Philadelphia Green Man era and show you what it's really all about. Now, I have to tell you, I feel like I've never studied anything harder in my life than if there is literally any breathing activity whatsoever going on here, or get this out of here. Sorry. Or if this man just straight up, like, honest to God, put an anime body pillow into a Halloween spirit store full suit, like mesh body costume, so that he could claim they were like one of his bitches or something. But I have tried and tried, and I am not seeing any kind of like eye movement, breathing, but you tell me.
It's about as kinky as I can get on TikTok, probably, before they take stuff down. But it also keeps them anonymous because I don't want to ruin their lives, you know? Some people are mean.
The like villainous cackle as he like relishes in one definite anime body pillow in a suit and one likely paid escort of some kind also in a bodysuit. Unlike many things I have seen in the old internet archives, and that's saying a lot, because y'all know I'm not exactly the youngest lady, you know? I got kids. I've seen some things on this internet. I've lived through the 4chan years. And what the fuck, man? It doesn't take a lot. Could someone please, because I feel like I'm getting a little bit gaslit. I feel like I'm gaslighting myself. Because I have seen some interesting things in the kink community. I know that in the furry umbrella, covering up yourself so that you can better role play as something outside of yourself is a big part of many kink communities, right? I acknowledge that for sure, and I don't fully understand it, but I can kind of get it enough to be like, okay, that's a thing. I've heard of humiliation kinks. How normal on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being this is so beyond my scope of kink understanding, to 10 being like, to be honest, Lauren, like you probably know like 7 people in your close social circles who engage with this on a regular basis. Like, where on that sliding scale does this fall? Please.
And don't understand what it's like to be a submissive.
So what did we learn?
What did you guys learn? What did I learn? That's a loaded question, quite frankly. I learned that some people think that putting anime body pillows into purple coated bodysuits is a flex. That's what I learned. 3 to 5. Okay. So there's some like truth to this. I'm trying to be as charitable and open-minded as possible. I'm sure the red one moved. I do think the red one moved. Like I definitely noticed. That's why I was like there was some shifting.
Yeah, on TikTok probably before they take stuff down, but it also keeps them
But
anonymous because I don't want to
that's
ruin their life.
definitely just a body pillow. Interesting. As someone who has been submissive for over 30 years, those are real women. Yo, so there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. This is what I'm saying though. Like, where does unwarranted confidence come from? Honest question, because I think a lot of people are like quick to make fun of this guy, but not recognizing like he's so deep in this. Like he's so true to this. And part of me has considered that this could potentially be some kind of Andy Kaufman-esque character designed specifically for the purpose of trolling. But I've had my mind blown before. Okay? So just continue to come with me on this journey. I will show you his website. Let's make this a bit smaller, shall we? All right. Whoops. Sorry, I have a bunch of windows that I didn't even realize. Okay. Alpha dominance in dating. Rise above the rest. Navigate the fog when it comes to women. It's time to level up. I am loving, like, unironically, the Jumanji Rhino. He's like, listen. He knows what the people want to see, though. You know what I mean? Purchase video course. Wait. Let's go to about first. Oh, yes. We love a good AI generated. Okay, maybe I'm just super vanilla, but I'm honestly just confused. Yeah, Cameron, I've never felt more vanilla in my life. Like, I've felt like I was at least lemon cheesecake, but to be honest, I feel like such soft serve vanilla right now. I feel like I don't even understand. I thought I was having a good time, but apparently I could be having a way better time. I don't know. That looks really uncomfortable though. Alpha Dom is considered the pinnacle of dating expertise. By whom? Trust me, bro. At the age of 16, he realized his shortcomings in the dating realm, experiencing friend zones and instances of infidelity. Rather than blaming women, he took a realistic approach and embarked on a quest to uncover the ultimate code to successful dating. I love that he was like, I almost Elliot Rogers, but I didn't. After extensive study and research into various dating methods, he isolated the code that generates immense attraction. He isolated the code? I gotta give it to him. I'm loving this. Alpha Dom discovered how to wield power over women, driving them to a state of obsession and making them prioritize him above all else. He became the ultimate selector. The ultimate selector! I love this, dude. Monday stream, we were talking about a woman who had kind of like main character syndromed herself into like a crazy fan fiction of her own life. And I love like the equal opportunity for men here too. Like you two can just truly write the real narrative for yourselves. You no longer have to settle for friend zone or infidelity when you can learn the code of power. I'm so ready. I'm all ready to just throw all my money at this course. Please. I'm so ready. Over the span of 15 years. Okay. So he was 16, he's 15. So he's in his 30s now. Okay. He honed his strategies to decimate his competition. This man will steal your girl. He probably already has, honestly. Like, I'm after this definitely going to have to divorce the tripod in pursuit. I'm already feeling the power. I'm obsessed. Can you see how thirsty I am? Oh my god, I need my broken Stanley for this one. Thirsty for the Alpha Dom. He's got me by the throat. Sorry. Along the way, this is like so small for you guys. Let me just That's what she said. That was so mean. I'm sorry. I said I wasn't gonna potty shame. It just slipped out. A Michael Scott moment. I'm sorry. This barely helps, but don't worry, I'm reading it. Along the way, he recognized the significance of assisting other men in achieving what he had accomplished. But why? How are you going to decimate your competition and help them out? Like, you saw how well that worked for Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Like, Cedric Diggory died anyway. So, like, why did you even... Sorry, that was such a low blow. We've just been watching some Harry Potter lately and, like, felt like a fair literary reference, and I just wanted to be a savage for literally no reason. But actually, no, like, someone explain how that makes sense. How does it make sense that you are trying to basically eliminate all competition so that you don't have to worry about it, but also you found it imperative to teach men how to do what you do? Okay, someone answer me this in the dub som in the Dom sub community. I will ask my question in a moment. Crab90, thank you. That was very charitable. I think unwarranted confidence is not confidence at all. Confidence comes from figuring out your own skills and growing confident through actions. Without experience, it's just insecurity. He's putting up a front. He is claiming 15 years of experience. As soon as he learned to drive, bro, he was pulling up. He was like, get in, get in, get in. You're all coming home with me tonight. And you better believe it, Buster. And we're going to learn all about it. Okay? Okay, I pull up. Truly, though, how would that help? But someone in the Dom sub community tell me, is it like, are you truly can you be like a Dom cuck at the same time? Like, can you, like, what's it called in RPG when you like study two things at once? My husband would be so ashamed of me right now. I want to say dual wield, like cross, like multi-class. Can you multi-class in Dom and cuck at the same time? I'm really curious, like, or is there like can you at least put almost equal levels? What custodialship can you share with your Dom and your cuck side? There's got Dom cucks in the chat represent. Shout out to my Dom cucks. We love a good Dom cuck. Cause that's honestly what he sounds like. I've not met many. They've got to exist, right? There's got to be someone who's like, I love when I go make my subs go get blasted. There's something to that, I think. I'm being very charitable. D- Domcuck sounds like a band that plays exclusively Buck Cherry covers. I don't know. I'm gonna name my next sim Domcuck though. Let me tell you. Next time I play Sims 4, and he's gonna have a mansion, baby. I don't, you know what? And by the way, I'm not kink shaming. That's probably actually huge in the poly community because there's a word for it. Like I'm being honest now. I know I'm facetious and sarcastic a lot, but I'm being honest now. There's a word for it in the poly community called compersion, where you honestly feel like really happy when your partner is like being fulfilled by another person because like you love your partner so much. And like I don't understand that. My husband is mine, you can't have him. Like the glimpses that I share with you is all you are allowed, and that is my man. So I don't get it, but I do kind of get it. You know what I mean? Like I think it's cool in theory. I think it's awesome that people have like evolved there, or maybe we're just born thinking that way. You know what I mean? It's harmless. You can't argue with that. If Alpha Dom loves his like I think he calls them slaves. It's called middle management. It's somehow the most boring option available here. Is he the middle management of Doms, you think? Also, the last stream, I asked, man, this mouse is kind of wonky. I'm gonna blow into it like a Nintendo. Cute, but wonky, just like me. Last stream, I asked, when do you go from being a self-proclaimed comedian to comedian? And I think we kind of like loosely agreed on like once you've been paid for a single gig. When do you go? Please tell me. When do you go from being a self-proclaimed dom to a dom? And does this man, you might have to wait until the end of the stream to fully have your case, but I want you guys to noodle on this as we watch all this content. Does this man have the receipts to prove that he is not just a self-proclaimed dom, but a dom, a for real dom? Let's see. All right, he recognized the significance of helping other men and what he had accomplished. It became apparent that by helping men enhance their influence over women, he not only helped them fulfill their desires, but also answered women's prayers to meet a man like him. I was about to joke and be like, I realized that if I sold men the rhetoric that I had sold to myself, that I might be able to profit off of it. I love that he literally just has the gall to be like, women everywhere have been literally praying that I could just clone myself. And like, ladies, I'm trying. I'm trying here. Please, please. It's giving Cusco. I appreciate in your videos you go over fallacies and event narcissist behaviors. Did you just go a lot in a reading to learn all of those? Any resources would be great on those if you can. Thank you, John Wood. Honestly, I would just say I got really lucky in my public school education and my brief time at community college. I really paid attention in I was part of the debate club. I'm sure that's no surprise to literally anyone, but very actively involved in that. And I believe it was just my freshman year English teacher at community college, to be honest. So I would say I just got really lucky. I didn't like go to a big university or anything, but he spent a really long time on fallacies and deconstructing arguments in that way. And I was like I was such a nerd in school, y'all. I was voted two things my senior year, and I was like so proud to have two awards. But I got voted teacher's pet and most artistic. So that was nice. It was a little bit of like a psh, psh, but like one good one, one bad one. I don't regret being a teacher's pet though. Like I said, I had a lot of really great teachers, and I feel like I had really strong relationships with my teachers, a lot of whom I still keep in contact with. So, I don't know, I just learned from the best, I guess. Didn't end up like the rest. He shared his knowledge to make the world a better place. He's so brave, demonstrating to both men and women that their fantasies could become a reality. Alpha Dom became the epitome of dating expertise, teaching methods and techniques that were unmatched by anyone else. Now you stand face to face with a dating legend. The choice is yours. Do you allow yourself to reach your potential, or do you let him help the next person? So, what will it be? Press F to doubt. Press X to doubt. Listen, y'all, who would I be to deprive us of this experience, though, okay? Y'all already know. Should we, apply for the Discord, you guys? Do you think he'll let us in? I'm gonna apply right now with you guys. You don't have permission to send messages on this channel? Why? Hold on. Let me see if I can open it in the app, if it'll be better. Let's see here. I have to have the Discord app. I'm not Discordless in Seattle, am I? Did he ban me from the Discord? It was popping off yesterday. One of his many servants told him that I was coming. All right, we might have to work around this. Do I just make a whole new Discord? Is that what I have to do? All right. Let's see here. We're gonna sign out. She's trying to infiltrate the Discord. I'm trying to access the ancient wisdoms. Do I have to pay $3,000 for the channel? No, I don't. Listen, we can simply watch the available content, okay?
Let's talk about
Undercover. Stealth skills is 50. I'm assuming out of 1,000 because epic fail. All right. But listen, we at least have access to the free stuff, okay? Let's talk about his nails. All right. This is truly where the deepest secrets begin to unlock.
let's talk about my nails. I'm a professional dating coach and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Here's the thing. If you think this thing you learned in high school or that is the best way to get a girl to
Okay, first of all, let's have a talk, boys. We're having the talk, okay? If you didn't have a father in your life or a good mom to give you this talk, we gotta talk about something, okay? the two moves, if I'm to understand correctly, were this. First of all, who taught you to just use one finger? First of all, no. No, sir. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Second of all, what is the what was this? What was that? Are you flipping a pizza? What is this and what are you using it on? Like, what part of the body are you doing this to? Can we, like, instant replay here? What was that gesture, please? I'm sorry.
Thing you learned in high school, or that.
What is he doing this to? Is he, like, trying to demonstrate, like, how he thinks he's doing? What?
That is the best way to get a girl to, oh my God, to an O? Jesus Christ. I can drag my fingers down a girl's back and cause one. If you don't know what a TO is,
A TO.
I can't go into, you'll should know them. TO and AO, Skino, especially a Mentalo.
TO. Is that tendons? When you, like, snap that tendon just right? Is it like tentacle? When you put on your slither suit and you get to slapping? Is it like when you have a really good tea time when you're out with the boys golfing and you just bust in your pants a little bit out on the green? Is that what it is? I don't know, guys. I'm new to the kink community. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Oh, if you've never had given a girl a Mentalo, gotta tell ya, you're a kiddie league. Stepping into the arena with the pros, and you have no idea what you're doing.
This has to be an Andy Kaufman thing. And if it is, full support. My full support. If this is like a bit, I'm loving it. Also, like, I do think a mental O is a thing. Like, there have been times where my husband just says something that's, like, so intelligent that I'm like, yeah, that's jumping on that. You know what I mean? I think that's a thing.
Guy, sorry. Little tip. Put a glove on with a long nail and rake.
Put a glove on with a long nail and rake. How long does the nail have to be? Are we talking, like, let's show off the Dadvocate nails. We've got, like, decent length, definitely too long to appropriately train jujitsu. Are we talking, like, Ripley's Believe It or Not? Like, we need to know.
Not hard. You're welcome.
Rake, but not hard, with a gloved hand. So basically, like, Lady Gaga that bitch. Okay, okay. Quick poll. How many of you would feel so, like, submitted to if Alpha Dom just, like, took you with his gloved, naily claw and gave you an AO? How would you... Gave you a AO, raked like Freddy Krueger. Yes. Get on your best striped sweater. So, I feel like maybe I'm misreading the chat. Do we love him? Like, we love it, right? I'm just getting, like, a tough read because it feels like we all need more immediately in our lives. That's the read that I'm getting. Don't worry. I already am feeling the control and the power surging through my veins. Like, I can feel that you're all ready to obey me already. Don't worry. So daddy's got you. Sub spotted. Gary says, I suspect he's a psychic alien infiltrator. So yeah, he probably could give a girl a mental O by mind controlling her into doing so. He clearly slept through the dissections on the mothership. Dude, yeah. If there's actually like a big part of the TikTok community that's all about like alien what's the word that they use? They like some kind of ancestral projection, like ancestors are like accessing their spirit and they're given like this omnipotent wisdom. And he's definitely one of those, absolutely, like reptilian alien overlord confirmed. And like, please, like, rectify me, captain, like teach me your ways. I need to be the like dominating alpha giga reptilian overlord mommy of Tripod's dreams. That's what he needs from me. Every giving, hardworking husband deserves a reptilian submissive lizard mommy brat.
So this is our comfortable now? Okay. So this is our first podcast. We're doing a little pilot here.
Alpha Dom, a look inside the dynamic. Let me just bring this down a bit. We got to get the best angle here. Okay. This is gonna eat up some time, but I promise you guys, if this is what you're missing, okay? The reason that you keep getting friend zoned and that no one loves you and you're failing is because you probably don't even know how to give a a YJO, you know, or a Jello or a Fago. You probably don't even know how to do any of those things. So pay attention, nerds.
See how it is. A lot of people have asked for something like this to kind of get to know the
I said
dynamic and
baba.
understanding of, attraction, what I have as far as the dynamic.
I'm so sorry, guys. Look at me flexing my premium. I didn't mean to do that. I was like, Jesus, how did my dog open the door?
Miles is smart.
He is so smart. Aw, Tripod's home.
Hi. Yeah, no, I got the notification that you were talking about my boy Alpha Dom, and I was like, oh man, VTO accepted, baby, slap.
Okay, so we might get some TJ commentary on this situation.
I need to calm down before I deal with this guy. This schmuck.
Well-
He's a nebbish.
Well, welcome home.
Hi. Yeah.
I was just talking about how I'm learning how to be your submissive reptilian brat mommy.
Oh shit. Just like that to everybody, huh?
I'm learning from the best. We're gonna level up.
I'm gonna let the dogs out because they looked like they really wanted me to do that, but then I might come back in.
I did just let them out right before the stream started, but
Oh, part.
they do like weather, so. Why do I just imagine, like, of what was that video game? I'm embarrassed that I don't know this, but the one where you could like pick a different monster to destroy all the buildings. It's probably like in the name. I've probably already said it. Someone please tell me. It's like on the tip of my tongue. You could either be like a giant King Kong gorilla. Rampage! Yes! Why do I feel like if my husband were to have a crush on one of the Rampage characters, it probably would have been Lizzie the lizard. You know what I mean? Like, he just seems like that type that would just be like... It would have to be her. Like, if we did Marry or Kill of all of the Rampage characters, what would you guys pick? Who am I to even cover unhinged things on the internet when I am an unhinged thing on the internet? I guess, you know what? I guess it takes one to know one, so I'm the right one for the job. Truly, though, I need them to teach me their ways.
With one of my girls. We've done this kind of briefly while on TikTok Lives when I had TikTok on my previous accounts. This one I don't have live yet. Maybe we'll do it on Instagram or something, but I think a podcast is, or at least a video style, like a
Real quick, I want you to just, for the rest of this video, imagine that you uh booked the hotel bedroom right behind theirs. And this is happening while you're trying to go to sleep.
Podcast is going to be a lot better than live because a lot more people can see it in their own time. So kind of just go over the dynamic, ask a bunch of questions. Some of the viewers on TikTok ask questions. I will refer to her as V. Don't accidentally say her name. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
What up, Rex?
Or you can refer to her as what you refer to her, which is Queen. So, I'm going to refer to her as V, though. But she asked a bunch of questions, too, which she knows the answers to, but she thought they were good questions to be asked, so.
I love the dynamic. Like their little polycule harem, it seems like there's either a hierarchy or like a degree of recognition. So we are going back to the gorilla thing. We are, because like this one she calls the other one V Queen. So from what I learned about gorillas at the zoo recently, this is in line with gorilla mating strategy. Honestly, we're just learning from the silverback himself.
I appreciate that for helping with things. So yeah, let's go through it. So one of the things that I kind of want to talk about, because I briefly touched on it about you on YouTube videos and stuff like that, is
Can't you just tell from the body chemistry how much Riz he has? Like, bro is emanating Riz. Like, I know that I said I was going to work on becoming the reptilian rampage brat mommy of my man's dreams through this course, but honestly, I have to leave my husband for him. Like, I need to be as satisfied as she is. Like, I need to be this happy. She
first
looks
date.
so
So my
fulfilled.
first date,
I bet she's owing right now. I bet she's having so many menti O's.
I send after I build a girl up to an attraction level, I send her a text message stating what's going to happen for the first part of the date. You're going to come over my house. When you walk in the door, you are going to spread across the wall. I'm going to pat you down. Very thorough. And then I'm going to cuff you, blindfold you, collar you, bring you to the living room, and you kneel there. Talk, have some questions, and then when you feel comfortable, you'll say escalate, and that's where the hot shit starts. Now, I'm a BDSM dom.
Okay, so first date, here's what's gonna happen. You roll up, follow protocol, all right? It's gonna be exactly like entering prison. Uh, make sure you don't got anything on ya, and then when you say the magic word, it's when the crazy stuff happens. Now, again, there's all kinds of like fantasies people have. I bet you there probably is some kind of like cuff and stuff fantasies going on the interlap with BDSM culture, like arrest me, daddy. Like, I'm sure that exists, right? But like, there's just something like not fun about every first date being the same. Really, you don't spice it up a little bit for like the different girlies? Like, there's not one element of difference. But I also kind of respect it. It's kind of like how in Skyrim, everyone just starts off the same as like a prisoner, and you end up finding yourself and having a great time. Maybe he is just, the next great Elder Scroll. Look, is it kink shaming or am I kink desperately trying to understand? I think it's a little bit of both, honestly.
I think almost all of my viewers and all my haters know that now. But in case you're watching us for the first time, that's how I roll. I have 6 women. This is Brat. She is the top one. All the other girls are underneath her.
Oh, I misunderstood the hierarchy. Okay, so there's 6 in here. Good numbers, good numbers. You need like at least 3 to get to heaven, I think. So he's like master ascended. So that one is apparently at the top of the hierarchy. So I really respect the dynamics here. There's a lot of interpersonal respect that the women give to each other, because even though she's at the top, she still refers to the lessers as queen. We love that. She's for the girls. Like, this is truly women empowering women in this like very extreme situation. Like, now here's the thing. For anyone who like actually relates to this and is like, man, it feels like Lauren's kind of kink shaming right now. I need you to understand. Hold on, I'm gonna finish that thought in a second. I'll get right back to it. Have you seen the video where the gym guy met him? Yeah, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it, Alex. Don't worry. Thank you for the 5. But for anybody who's like, man, I don't like this kink shaming side of Lauren. Again, I feel like I've tried to be super, super charitable with understanding something that I've admitted I am very unfamiliar with. The part that I need you to understand is reasonably weird is him being on TikTok trying to push this as kind of like the way. Right? If you get down like this hard, I think you can recognize it's uncommon, maybe annoyingly uncommon. But how many of you who are into this would say that others should like firmly practice all of these things? Would you recommend it? Like, sell someone else on it if you got a 20% off your next harem guest code? I'm curious, okay? That's my thing, is it's not quite as like, look, if you're really deep into the community, like, this is for you. It's kind of sold as like a, you don't even know. Like, you don't even know the right way. It's very like Gary Oak. Says I don't have to take no for an answer. Grabs the back of his shirt and force. Yeah. Okay, let's just play it. All right, let's just roll Tide while it's relevant. We'll get back to the YouTube video, but I know you guys are hungry for this one. So, someone found Alpha Dom in the wild. All right. So, straight away, we get like a visual. And one interesting thing he says at the very end of this video is that he himself is like over 6 feet tall. This guy in the video here. So there's a lot to be said for the fact that allegedly dudes over 6 feet tall have like an advantage in the dating market. So, you know what? That might just be it, right? That might be it. Posture game week, though. You gotta, if you wanna, I feel like this is speaking from a women's perspective. Now, to be fair, I'm a woman who hasn't yet been sold on being one of many sister wives in a polycule. So maybe, maybe I'm just too, I guess I haven't met the right dom to teach me my ways, so maybe I don't know better. But this looks like bad posture to me. Like, this looks like you could stand a little bit straighter. And in my, like, foolish, like, Bambi brain, I feel like I'm more attracted to men with a taller posture, but I don't know. I'm also could be completely wrong, and he's right. This is the video.
I was at my local Planet Fitness, and look who I ran into. Alpha Dom, the infamous dating coach. That's me with the big ass noggin right there. My mom says it's to protect the few brain cells I have left. But I said, hey man, can I get a picture with you? No one's gonna believe this. And he goes, no, sorry, I don't have enough time. And I said, I don't have to accept your rejection, buddy. Now get over here. And I grabbed him by the back of his shirt and pulled him over. The poor Planet Fitness employee had no idea what was going on, and I asked him to take this picture. But also, I'm 6'3", 225. You're not. You dominated, buddy.
A little Chad on Chad action here. A little bro moment. Had to share that one. I mean, I don't have to accept your rejection is pretty iconic. All right. We just played the Planet Fitness one. So we were going to watch the rest of the Alpha Dom podcast.
Oh my God.
Would
what?
you like to pull up a chair? We can actually we can have like a real Dom moment. I was gonna say if you want to bring in one of the wooden chairs, I can tuck it into this corner and give you this chair just because like seating wise it would fit better. But we all actually know that that's me being subservient to a true tripod giga Chad.
I don't have it.
Do you want to actually join though? Everybody loves a good TJ.
Yeah, I'll join.
appearance.
I
Especially when you're wearing your one piece hat.
yeah, I got my kafaya
Let's
and my
do
one
that.
piece hat. Let's do it.
I forgot to add the tripod emoji to Twitch. Big fail. Big fail.
You what?
I forgot to add the tripod emoji to Twitch. Only YouTube has access.
Is this
Do you-
like
do
is
you
this
want a
is this like
chair?
a punish you later for it moment or something? Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Oh shit. Sub actually revealed though. Oh god. Wait, are you joining? I never got an answer. Oh, okay. TJ's joining. TJ's joining. Yeah, that's fine. Nice. Okay. Well, let me switch our audio source then. It might get a little wonky sounding, but that's okay. Oop. And oop. Welcome, TJ, to the party.
Bonjour.
All right. Let's readjust real quick to make room for a surprise TJ. I know he wanted to make this one too.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy I did.
All right, let's Chinese fire drill this.
Wow, take me back to 2003.
Let's do-si-do here.
Here we go.
Get on, you cutie
Which
pie.
cat snuck in here?
Is there a cat in here?
I don't know. Mochi's been on my ass since I got home.
Anyway, that's not helpful. Okay, I think we're both in here pretty decently. Get the mic in between both of us. Does he fit on the reaction cam?
Yes, I'm right here.
Nailed it. So, all right, now this has become a husband and wife learning experience. We're about to get the full, the husband and wife react to Alpha Dom. See if we can learn a few things to spice up our marriage, babe.
Oh my god, I hate these kind of people. I hate these kind of people
She's
so
my right
much.
hand girl. Now, I personally do not play favoritism with my girls, and we'll get into that. We'll ask a couple of questions of her about that. But going back to that first date, so you get it, you get that message, you agree to it. What was it like? Because you drove what, 2 hours?
You're
loving come this, meet- babe.
No, an
Half an
hour
hour?
at that time.
Oh, it was
I'm
an
gonna
hour.
watch
Okay.
them. I just have to listen right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You used to go.
It
Yeah.
was like 45
Yep.
maybe.
So 45 minutes. So you drove.
Babe, do you think that you can get me to this level of satisfaction?
Catatonic?
Around 45 minutes.
Paralyzed with fear?
What was going through your mind? What are you thinking? Were you nervous? Were you mostly nervous? Were you mostly turned on?
I was mostly nervous. I was curious.
Your Honor,
Wrong answer.
Leading?
Just give him the breadcrumbs. Just give him the breadcrumbs. They don't need to know the
I
details.
was just really anxious. It was kind of a long time ago.
That's true. That was what?
That's my
4 years
So
ago.
March 1st, right? What year was that? Was
2020.
Was it 2019 or 2020?
2020. Maybe.
I thought we're going on 5 years.
So wait.
Yeah.
So I think that would have been.
Hold up. Y'all are going on 5 years and this is your chemistry? 5 years of an allegedly like
I
mutual in some kind of way like relationship, and this is how you feel about each other. She's like, well, I was awkward, but now I'm after half a decade am less awkward.
I'm how we can't watch this whole thing, can we? We don't have to. We're not going to watch the hour-long Alpha Dom podcast.
Oh, I was gonna chill with these guys and like maybe skip some parts, but I haven't seen any of it, so I was gonna torture myself
God.
actually.
That's some psychic damage, dude. This is already like
Yeah.
I'm there.
I don't know why I say I don't enjoy, or I don't know why I say that I don't understand kink when I'm clearly like a masochist who like just loves to injure myself on camera. Like
It's like
voyeuristic masochism is pretty much like the theme of my streams, is I like and a little bit of sadism because I subject all of these poor individuals to it as well. Hold on.
this is oh man. It's more than a D8 of psychic damage.
Let's continue.
Oh yeah, maybe it
We're
was
getting a super
2020.
chat here in a second though.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was. I don't know. I'm a dude. I don't have a fucking clue about dates or anything. The only reason I remembered, to be honest, the only reason I remembered March 1st is because I have it in my calendar, so I remember. But that's the day we met. Oh, no, that's right. I have her coloring day. I have Snapchat memories.
Coloring day.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so that's like a thing. I'll acknowledge, even though we're not collar people, dude, if you're into like collars, I've got to imagine that's a big day.
I was like,
Think
we're
about
not
how happy and overjoyed we were on
collar
Miles'
people.
Gotcha
I'm like,
Day.
what the hell?
Yeah, oh yeah, we're like I said, this is a whole new Do you trust me? No.
No.
I don't.
You do
I
not
don't.
have to accept her rejection.
I have been pulling this man into like lines of fire for years. Just like every time he jumps on my magic carpet, it goes through lava and quicksand and
That's what I signed up for, baby.
the dangerous creatures. Sir, the one in the One Piece hat. Okay, not the one in the Davic hat behind us. How often do you think about the fact that Luffy can expand any part of his body?
I think the implication that you're trying to make,
What implication?
I don't think about that. I think about, without getting into too many spoilers for people who haven't read, I think that it's cool
Wouldn't that be a horrible
how
way for him to destroy a
imaginative
villain?
Oda gets with it, but I don't think Luffy thinks about the full physical implications of that.
That would be a devastating way for him to destroy a villain, though. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I think it's time that we admit something to the audience. Listen, this is the time and place to do it, but if you could just roll aside for a second, we got to tell them. So Mr. Oof has actually been our third this entire time. That's a person in there. And they're just our slave, our sub, and they just obey our every command. And it's kind of a kink. Like we just get them to like sit there, and they've been there for how long would you say? 7, 8 years?
I think they're maybe 5 years old.
Those
in
are
terms of
just
staying around.
she's our little
We
baddie
stuffed them
over
5 years
there.
ago.
Spam that Mr. Oof emoji. Such a good little brat. Mr. Oof's new story arc goes so hard though. The things that Mr. Oof does for us. That's so funny though, actually. Like the girls were just beating the shit out of Mr. Oof for real. Mr. Oof does get some use. So if you ever do, like, if that was a body pillow that he bought, like, I've got to imagine, like, there's tons of use. We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. Yeah, you missed the people in the bodysuits thing. Have you ever seen that video?
I saw the backdrop of it when you were like making a video. I don't need. Oh God, I don't want to subject myself.
Mochi, you don't need to see this. Shield your eyes, but on my lap so that we can have cat talk.
That.
Oh yeah, and that's not the only one. That's just the only one that doesn't breathe for some reason.
What it's like to be a submissive.
So what do we learn?
So what did we learn?
So I
Do you want me to do that for you, babe?
No.
Would that do it for
Nope.
you?
Absolutely 100% not. That's
Mochi, why are you leaving?
that's like
Could you close the door though? Sorry.
it's so God. Here's my problem now to when it's like when I see
No kink shaming.
shit like this.
Illegal.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's
No kink
illegal on the
shaming.
internet.
Well, it's not illegal depending on how weird it gets. But when I see kinks like this kind of brought more mainstream because, we're all connected now for things like this, I'm like, as a comic book fan, I start to appreciate the less form-fitting costumes, the more like, oh, that's like an outfit costume instead of like tight spandex. Because now I'm like, is it a kink thing now?
It's to show like pure complete submission.
I understand that, but it's like there's clearly like when it's the latex and everything, and then sometimes, especially if you ever see like,
and to also show that it's to provide plausible deniability.
I know, you're right. It's the plausible deniability because especially like with comics and like figure drawing, it's like the human body it's amazing. You can be twisted and turned, and it's like the way that it like just like operates in 3 dimensions is fantastic, but it's like this is not that.
What if
and it's like there's a lot of people who will be like, because I just use Facebook to like dump family photos and like shit post memes, I don't curate my feed enough, so it's just trying to throw me anything that's like, hey, you kind of like comic books, how about this? And it's all like comic book artists submitting things, and I gotta tell you, it used to be a lot more, it's not so much anymore, but probably about 35% of the posts on there are like, hey, commission's open, and it's just like clearly a pornographic like painting that you have painted, literally line drawn the nipples over of this character, and like, this is Jean Grey. It's like you found a posed naked woman that you liked on the internet, and then you use that as the literal trace over, because there's no reason that anybody would wear a costume that their nipples are sticking out picture perfect. That's ridiculous. You're trying to be like, I'm serious here for comic book cover commissions. I'm like, that's not marketable. And this just reminds me of that. But it's like,
that took a turn
I think
not expecting.
I'm sorry. It's just things like this make me think about it. And it's like this. The more that I've learned about him, the more it starts to make sense to me.
Dylan's here.
Yo.
Member of 4 months. If I had one wish, it would be for Dadvocate on ice. I've not gone ice skating since I was like 4, so that was alright. But yeah,
sorry.
I had to catch TJ up to speed, and I guess anybody who is late to the party.
But now that I know this,
on what the Alpha Dom techniques are. But I will say, without kink shaming aside, because someone had mentioned there's a term for it called. TJ is really regretting.
I will say what you're seeing is I pounded
I'm gonna move this.
a little kid, one of our kids' protein shakes before I came on.
And now you're just burping a lot?
Oh, I'm burping a lot. It doesn't do great things for my stomach, so if I got to step out for a second, it's just for the safety of everybody in this room.
Just gotta tear it up. Listen, so some people are calling it depersonalization. That's the term for it. It's under the same umbrella as people who do like furry suits or wear masks or in some way hide their appearance during the act, and that's fine. Where it becomes scary is that this fetish requires way more consent than the usual consent. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
like
it's just more than I think we're used to.
More.
I think there's a knee-jerk reaction to, now that I'm seeing this and I'm learning a little bit more and I'm seeing him with this lady and just like the dom and everything, I'm starting to think like, okay, so much more of this is starting to fall into place, where this is just my prediction. If we are really gonna fucking strap into this shit, is this like a fist in the eye is how this fits. I think this is my prediction of how I'm viewing this guy. Is like you said, he is tall, but that's where I think the traditional good looks kind of end, both in the gestures, the mannerisms, the manicuring, the and this is no offense to anybody who has speech problems, but the non-traditional clear speech, like all of these things to where I'm like, you can't expect me to think celebrities who go to speech class are going to take you seriously when it's like, I pull women and you sound like a character that we've learned through media is like, this is a cartoonish character. And it's like when you're presenting yourself as the lisp, exactly. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like, you have to admit that it doesn't fit the traditional, oh, I've got this harem of women behind me, to where it's like, you have to understand that if you open the door with, I am the biggest alpha that's ever alphaed, but you have a non-traditional speaking pattern.
Well, that's why I have to know more. That's why I have to know like what goes into it, because so far this is what I'm told. This is what I'm told all of the steps are. Okay? I'll repeat back to you. Cuz look, again, I already told these people that I'm not trying to like lisp shame, I'm not trying to body shame. So like none of that matters.
No.
But it's like the steps that I've been given so far to secure not only one woman but multiple women are: I approach. If she's like, no, I'm not interested, I go, yeah, that's because you're you know, whatever, you can't handle it, you don't even know what it's like, you got to come back to my place and then you'll see what you're missing, whatever it is he said. The point is, you just keep pushing and pushing until eventually she succumbs to your will. And then once she succumbs to your will, you invite her for your first date, the first date being like a very processed and detailed order of events, where apparently there's no like boundary check-in, or apparently like once your initial body cavity check is performed, you're allowed to talk for a bit. So that might be time where you're allowed to discuss like safe words or like comfort levels or anything like that. But that's where we were kind of at right now. So obviously, like, you can't let this lisp get in the way of the arcane knowledge that lies within his grasp and the power that he clearly wields over women.
But I do think, this is what I'm thinking, is he has, I think that there is actually some truth to what he's saying, but I think it's specifically in the dom community. And I think it's because a lot of what might be considered traditionally, like for maybe a more traditional romance, is nobody fucking cares in this community, because it's like, oh, you're into this kink, I'm into this kink, you're good at this kink, maybe he's good at this kink, and to where it's like, he might have a harem of people to where it is like, you might be good at what you do in that community, but when you literally open the door with no like backdrop of, yeah, this is for a very niche community where I found success in X, Y, or Z. Hey, if the woman is looking to be dominated, she might like the fact that you're a little more forward, and she's like, well, I don't know if I'm looking for it. And it's like, maybe you are looking for it. And she's like, oh my goodness. Like, if you know that the ground rules are already, you're into sub, I'm into dom, you can move forward with this more literal cringe festival. But if you think the rest of the world operates like this, come on, man.
I know, I just feel like we kind of had agreed, the chat and I, we once agreed that this isn't like super, super, super commonplace, even in BDSM, like this kind of like level of it. And so I guess like one of my questions is, do you think that he had any idea that this would actually blow up so much? Like, do you think that he truly thought like, I'm going to make my name as blatantly like kink gravitated as possible, which is what I did. I was like, I'm just gonna call myself the Dadvocate, and then everyone's gonna know what I'm about, that I like dads. And then like this dude was like, yeah, I'm gonna let people know like I'm all about like the super alpha mindset
Yes,
and
but he
being a
didn't
dom.
market himself correctly, because I think what happened was he got a few people to pay him to help coach, because like, hey, I heard in the community you're actually pretty good at this. And he's like, yeah. And then he might have had an agent or maybe just enough friends be like, wow, you should try to make a business. He's like, yeah, that's perfect. You know what a great platform is to reach a bunch of people to get new clients? TikTok. I'm gonna get people on TikTok. And it's like, you put yourself into the public square, dude. Oh no. And you did not think this is how it was gonna go. And I think he's desperately, what?
Just keep talking.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I think that they're just desperately trying to save face, because I've seen some videos of them responding, and it's just like, it feels like it's cope. And I just think that part of what it is again, someone who's found very specific success in a very specific corner, and they thought because of their specific success, they're like, I can do this everywhere. And it's like, no. And I think that's what's happening. That personally, I'm just seeing like, if this is really what it is, I think perhaps maybe they are. I love the little devil horns behind
I know, I
you.
was like, it looks like horns right now. What do you think, chat?
And I think just the problem is they were expecting maybe like, oh, you just don't get it, or no, you don't have to. And we're like, no. This is kind of like this isn't kosher. This isn't Gucci for the rest of us right now. We're like, you can't talk like this. The best TikTok response I saw was him going, you don't have to accept their rejection. And it just stitched to a lady with her drink next to her, and she just put her hand over her drink. And that was like the end of the stitch. I'm like, yeah, yep, yep. If you said that, I would warn every single girl that, even if I didn't know them, especially if I knew them though, I'd be like, hey, like, even if you broke my brother's heart years ago, I'd be like, listen, hey, that guy might try to put something in your drink. I have specific video evidence of them saying to not take no for an answer. And if she came back and was like, oh, we're actually into the sub dom thing, I'd be like, oh, okay, really weird that he prefaced none of his videos with that shit. But I don't know. It's I think he stepped into a little fish from a little pond, and then he stepped into the big ocean and was like, oh shit.
I don't know, man. He seems to have, kind of a, here, let me flip back over to this. He seems to have kind of like a grasp on the way. This is his website. Alpha Dominance and Dating, Rise Above the Rest. He has kind of like, his everything all laid out here. Crush limiting beliefs.
No.
Discover your alpha identity. Mastering the art of attraction. The alpha dating style. I mean, he has to know something. No one on the internet would ever create a course without knowing what they're talking about.
That's how I know. It just popped up recently.
Yay.
So, and
Now, I've heard different numbers, though. I think I killed my husband. I've heard different numbers where people are saying that allegedly the course is like $3,000, but I'm only seeing it for like 187. So I was gonna say $3,000. So far, I don't think I've gotten $3,000 worth of advice. Have I gotten $187 worth of advice though?
Who's to say?
Probably no.
that was funny because I wasn't at my house. I was at one of my other girls' houses at the time. I'm no longer with her. But she lives out in the woods. So you were driving up, but that's probably more sketchy driving into the...
Yeah, I was gonna turn around if it shouldn't have neighbors.
Oh, okay.
But she had a neighbor.
Yeah. And you saw my place at the time. I had, a neighbor right next to me, which I view as more safety for the girl as well. But
Yeah, I think you were the. No, no, no. We did. I think three girls intakes there.
This sounds very interesting to me because he's like, he tried to initially introduce it as like, oh, we met in the wild. But now it sounds like their first encounter is her driving to him, which sounds like an arrangement of some kind, you know? And I guess that's not entirely fair. People use dating apps all the time, and so their first time meeting is at a house, I guess, but like, that's pretty scary. I feel like maybe even like no matter how deep into the kink you get, probably you should like meet people at a level of humanity, respecting general people's need for safety. Like in general, I would like, I don't really care what stuff, you know, like our future children get into, but like I'm gonna go into mother bear mode if I find out that they're just meeting people at their house's first date, like son or daughter. Guys, don't do that. Like, of course she should have felt scared and like looked for basic warning signs if your first time ever meeting this person is at their house. I don't recommend doing that, guys. I don't recommend it. The lack of safety can be part of the thrill. Okay. I feel like at the end of the day, everything could just be like explained if it's a kink. Like no matter what, like almost every dude is oogie.
He
I've
is.
never
He's
heard that
just
adjective
that's
before, and yet I somehow
exactly.
know exactly what it
Yep.
means. But like, what do you think? Like, at what point is kink shaming allowed? Only when it's illegal?
It's not.
Only if it is like removes consent, I would say. If there's anything even slightly like, I don't fully know if the consent is there. But that's what's crazy to me is like there's literally then kinks though where
I
someone's
think.
like, but take away my consent, and then you're like, wait,
I don't know. Yeah, I think
where do
it's.
we draw
I
the
think it's
line?
exactly what it is. It's when they make it public because it's the same thing as you can make fun of, any, let's just say normative couple, whatever your gender profile is, but just people just being people, hugging and kissing, PDA, whatever their relationship looks like that's, you'd be like, ooh, you can still like be like, ah, and that's still kind of poking fun a little bit, but it's harmless fun. But if you suddenly come in and you're like, I'm the guru, I'm this, I know so much more than you, I can make girls just by running my fingers down their back. It's like, oh, so you want us to make you fuck off,
It
is what I'm
really
hearing.
like
You're asking for it, dude.
that's the thing is like I can believe that someone wants to be submissive to a dominant figure. Absolutely. That's like actually one of the more common kinks. And I can believe that a submissive would have a depersonalization fetish or at least is so agreeable to their dom that they would consent to it enthusiastically.
Mm-hmm.
I can believe that. I can believe that a person with those two aforementioned things also is polyamorous and completely on board with you having multiple other
Mm-hmm.
people.
Yep.
And I can believe that their polyamory is to the degree that they don't want or need any separation, and they're okay with hearing about the other partner on a regular basis and even meeting and engaging with the other partner to create a polycule. And I can believe that you can have all of those aforementioned qualities and have a humiliation kink to where you also don't mind like being used for content or kind of like rage bait farmed, so to say. Essentially, like shoehorned into conversations as an ego boost, like you don't mind being used in that way. I can believe all of those things, but I have a really hard time believing that that is even 1% of the population.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I think he thought that he would appeal to more people than he did, and now he's trying to play catch up to cover his ass.
Yeah, and that's where it's kind of like, well, I mean, I don't know, but like, I guess once you've made it that far, once you've literally gotten to the point where you're so like 4chan and porn brained that you cannot get off to anything less than 6 or more subservient humans in depersonalized form that you can humiliate, then like you have to brag about being the best at it. Right? Like at that point you gotta just go full balls to the wall with it. You know?
Yeah.
He's the best. So far, of all the creators that I have met who are determined to prove that they are the best, Alpha, Dom, Chad, who like this, I haven't seen anyone do it better. I also have not explored those pages deeply enough. Someone's gonna link me to a DeviantArt that I wasn't ready to see. We're getting so red pilled right now. Like we're truly waking up and escaping the Matrix.
So, but you're pretty nervous. I remember you coming up the door. I saw you for the first time through a window. You knocked on the door. V2 at the time, who was my alpha at the time, alpha submissive.
She dethroned her.
Yeah, she did the introduction. Like she was the one that patted you down and cuffed you and stuff, right? I just sat back. Yeah. Yep. So how was that? So like you were probably nervous coming up to the door. Or what?
You're probably a little bit nervous of as I had another woman.
Dude,
like, absolutely
I
fist your butthole
think...
for paraphernalia. But then I know you warmed up. Obviously. We can all tell that you've warmed up to me. Since then...
This is so interesting. I think it's like... Oh.
Alden Lyon says, that's honestly why I'm selective who I ask for advice. Almost everyone thinks dating advice equals advice on how to get her to bed nowadays. What do they say? Don't ever take advice from someone who doesn't have what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if this is what you want...
It's a mix of Twitch and YouTube, yeah. I'm watching this, and I'm kind of seeing, like, I think... He's talking about this so openly, and I think he's just kind of like...
There we
go. I'm really not trying to be mean. This is going to come out very mean. He sounds like a little boy.
Don't you bully Alpha Dom.
I'm not bullying Alpha Dom. I'm just...
No Alpha Dom blasphemy.
Okay, but he seems like a little boy who's getting off on seeing how uncomfortable she is. She's very like every single time it's like the edgy I'm putting myself back at like the start of college, like, whoa, I can't believe they just said that. Just in like there's this power in shock humor.
I feel like
and
he doesn't even notice that she's
no. He's definitely like,
so?
Yeah, dude, he's getting so like, because I just noticed it right now, because he was like, he does this thing where he's like, she was the one who like bent you down and pegged you, right? Wasn't that? He's trying to like dom her right there with the, weren't you humiliated right there? And he's like, yeah, that was her. And he keeps going, like, she's like, oh, I don't remember. He's like, oh no, that was definitely her. I remember. You were definitely like dominated that one time by that lady where she like pegged you and fisted you and thrust you. Do you remember that?
Snap.
Do you remember that in front of everybody? Anyway, so we were doing this thing, and he's like, but I just watched. She's like, but you're bringing that up. Exactly. Humiliation. He's humiliating her.
I don't think humiliation is always.
It's not always, but I think that for him,
very separate.
I think it's for him. You can see once he notices and she tries to back away. He's like, no, it was. I totally remember. You remember you said this thing when this thing happened, when she did this thing to you, and it's like she's avoiding eye contact. Every time he's trying to get like confirmation from her, he's like, do you remember? And she's like, oh, I don't. He's like, no, it was that, and he like keeps going. It's like, dude, if you were at a bar, kindly shut the fuck up and leave. She clearly does not want you to talk about that. We would have a problem at a bar. We would have a problem at a bar if this guy started to talk about it. They'd be like, wow, she's clearly upset. Could you please shut up? Nobody is enjoying this but you. Get the fuck out. And it's like, if you want to cause a scene, we'll start a scene, Alpha Dom. Like, this is horseshit. Notice how he's only talking about this in the comfort of his car, in a hotel room where he can safely dom her, and he doesn't have to deal with repercussions. I'm sorry.
I think that's what's missing here, is that there's no enthusiasm from her end. And it's like, I can understand almost every weird kink under the sun if it's what both people enthusiastically want.
Oh man.
Yeah, we are 5 minutes in,
and that's the thing
and
is
she's like clearly. And again, like, to say that this is part of the kink is, I'm trying so hard to believe it. Like, I'm literally like trying so hard to drink the Kool-Aid.
People
babe.
are like,
I
and
really
yet she
am.
doesn't leave. And it's like, you sound like that fucking webtoon where the person's like in the field working the mud and they're like, wow, this seems like a really oppressive system. And then like the fucktard comes out of the well and they're like, and yet you participate in society. Interesting. Like, fuck off. If she's in an abusive relationship for 5 years.
He could, like, that's the thing too, is like.
And maybe they are just being paid, but it's like, you think it's just so easy to turn away. Like, come on, we know you're smarter than that. We know you're smarter than that. Like, come on.
I'm assuming she's getting paid.
Maybe we do, but I see some people being like, and yet she's staying. It's like, yeah, because if it has been going on this long, it might be normalized, or she might think that she should just put up with this because that's what she's... It's the sunken time fallacy. Well, I've put up with it for 5 years. Might as well just keep putting up with it.
Logan says, I think it's just an act, as even though he is talking about what should be a good memory, yet has no emotion in his voice. Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
What point did you start getting turned on? Was it like driving there, or was it like...
To be honest, I don't even know if it's as deep as Stockholm Syndrome. Like I said, like,
it's
everything
so
about
gross,
this,
dude.
everything about this is giving me like this was part of the Craigslist contract.
This
like,
is
I told you 2 hours and you get your $400. Like, we literally just did, like, covered on stream that a girl accepted $400 to go on a date with a guy solely for the purpose of doing his ex-girlfriend's favorite activity and taking pictures to make her jealous. And she just, like, accepted that and was like, of course, that's a great deal.
Dude.
So the amount of things that people will do for $400,
I guess it's a 50-50. I don't want to do the either
wild.
or fallacy. It's not the false dichotomy, but it's kind of like, more than likely, I think it's one of those two examples. It's so, I'm going to have such a, sorry, that was so and such at the same time. I'm going to have such a hard time. If this is what this whole thing is, he's painfully breaking shit down. And it's just like, it's so manipulative and it's so narcissistic of, she's not bringing it up, dude. Why are you bringing up this? Like, so wait, what were you thinking in that moment?
There's a term for it. In hostage situations, it's called like a proof of living. You know, proof of life. When they're like trying to like negotiate and get the money, they're like, no, we swear she's still alive. Like, here's a video of her talking about what was on the news today. This is him being, when he's trying to get his bag, like trying to be like, no, boys, I swear to you, this is real. Okay, look, check out this 58-minute YouTube video of me uncomfortably sitting on a hotel bed with a deeply uncomfortable looking woman as she tries to remember the script that I fed her prior.
My thing is, like, I'm sitting here watching it, and how it's reading to me, other than like what I've just said, is the only other thing I can think of is the energy it's giving off. Like the TikTok trend of show 2 clips that give off the same energy. I would put this and then show like someone who just like caught their now ex red-handed, like cheating on them, like, oh yeah, then what did you do there? Oh, interesting. So then what were you thinking of when you came up to that place? Were you like turned on when you came up to that place, or was it like when you got there? And who was it that pegged you? Oh, that's right, she was the one that pegged you, and then they just sat there and watched. That's what's happened, right? That's, you don't have to tell me, I remember the details. So that's what happened when they did that, and it's like, it's giving off that energy.
I think we paused on such a great still. This is such a like This is such a great meme energy. Like she could not look like more done with this. While he just like keeps going. This is basically you were just saying what is something that looks like this, but is also this.
Yeah.
The meme of the guy who's like whispering in the girl's ear at the party, and she's just like this, and how everyone puts their own version of like what's being said over it. Like it's truly that is what's happening here.
Oh, man.
When V2 started like touching you and doing all this stuff, or was it like later on in the night?
When V2.
Yeah, V2 touched you. Because so, and you can be honest about this. We matched on Bumble with you.
Okay.
And were you exclusively attracted to just V2?
Well, I didn't really look at the profile, so I only saw V2.
Okay.
And then I thought it was her, but it was you that messaged.
Yeah.
Like, it's a shame, like, you didn't read the full bio, did you? Because I wasn't replying.
Yeah.
Because I've never, like, thought to be with a couple or anything.
Because you didn't start the conversation, we did.
Yeah.
Well, I did, to be. Which is funny, because I've talked...
So she wasn't found on Craigslist.
See, dude, that's what I'm telling you.
Allegedly.
Is he's found success in his community, and this lady they met.
I was gonna say though, they met
similar kink.
through her accidentally not even realizing that it was like a couple's.
But he did say you were looking for like twosomes, isn't that what, like a group of two? Isn't that what he said?
No, he said that she didn't even realize that he was part of the equation.
Oh.
Because apparently, like the full bio is.
Oh, because that's why he said it's a shame you didn't read the full. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Talked about that on the video a lot, and actually you had forgotten because you messaged, or I had.
Dude, 100%. Like,
dude makes even isekai harem animes cringe.
Like, I'm at my most love Hina. I was like, come on. Even this, he was reading Love Hina.
At my most love
dude,
Hina, he said.
At my most love Hina, I'm like, this is too much. He was reading the same manga and going, oh yeah, this is the dream. Just like sweating profusely. I'm like, could I just, god damn it, Ken Nakamatsu.
I would literally be shocked and appalled to find out this man is not a major weeb. Absolutely.
Posted a video about
no. He makes fun of weebs. He's going to be like, look at him wearing his One Piece hat with her. I'll bet what?
I don't think so. I think he's a different brand because it's not giving like Andrew Tate, don't talk to guys who watch Dragon Ball. It's not giving that at all. It's giving like, I secretly do the Naruto run to the Planet Fitness by my house.
Sucks because guys are the ones that normally initiate, and that's how it's been throughout all of history. And then you have girls that don't, and then you wonder why most Bumble matches don't ever lead into anything or even a conversation. Most, I think I looked at a statistic, it was like 62% of Bumble matches timeout. Which means...
Hey, yo, this is actually really messed up. I completely didn't even realize that he was using Bumble, but this is what he's doing. Oh, yo, this is actually wild to me. This is actually way sneakier and like more nefarious than you think. Because you know what Bumble is, right?
It's
the app where the woman has to respond first.
Right.
So what he's doing is he's using this V2 person who I'm sure he also met so organically as the profile so that he doesn't have to wait for women to message first. He is a woman, so he has the control. Okay, so he figured out the cheat code.
How old is this guy, man?
In his 30s, early 30s.
Listen, and you know that I was bullied a lot as a kid. And like I stood up to all my bullies, so they stopped fucking bullying me.
All right, to the person who said I look like a Naruto runner, I'm telling you, it takes one to know one. I Naruto run like every day of my life. Of course I know what a fellow weeb looks like.
Listen, no, let's get the era correctly. It was not Naruto running. She was wearing Sashomaru t-shirts. Let's get the era of weeb correctly, okay? I'm sorry.
None of them. They don't talk.
His Spank Sona. I haven't heard that one before.
That's a great one.
Is that what Tripod Jones is for me? Is that my Spank Sona?
And I was like, yes, but it was me and V2
Sure.
on a couple profile and you. And out of the three of us, V2 and you guys didn't start the conversation. I had to. So the only reason I could start the conversation is because it was a couple profile under female, which made both parties capable
Again,
of
I love
communicating.
somebody who's being so like charitable and generous and being like, well, not everybody's very extroverted. Like, I'm not a master body image analyst, okay? I don't know it all. I don't know what's going on in her mind. I'm not a mind reader, but like this is discomfort as a person. Like if they were like, we need someone as a reference, we're filming the new Inside Out and we're trying to have the emotion that's not just sadness, it's just like pure raw discomfort, like something between disgust and sadness.
Oh,
it
that's
would be
actually in the
her.
new movie. It's called Ennui.
Ennui? No, isn't ennui like when you're lost and like, isn't that closer to nostalgia?
Oh no, I thought ennui was like kind of like, I guess maybe. I was thinking like just sort of apathetic foi to the world, but I could be mistaking it.
Yeah, this is a bit more than apathy. This is like, I feel like I can see her calculating her life decisions as
100%. It's
You were into V2. Let's be honest. Looks wise, everything V2 was the girl that.
Discuss
Like,
said
that was
she's
your
super
focus.
sub-rat.
She's
She
not
plays
fucking-
a role.
Yeah.
I can't tell if I'm like being gaslit or I just honestly don't understand. So I'm supposed to believe that she's loving this, like if she when she goes
maybe
to
she
Burger King,
secretly
like, this
does
is-
love this. Look at that face right now. Look at that little smile in the corner of her cheek.
Is that a smile?
So probably up until
Right
when
there.
you met
Yeah,
me,
look,
you weren't
they're
really
both-
all that attracted to me at that point.
Not
You
anymore.
didn't know it was me talking to
But she
you
was looking
because
up.
you're probably were you attracted
This
to
is
the
the
person?
thing, dude. This looks like a
that's
breakup
having
video.
conversation
This
with
is like
you?
what it feels like when people are breaking up on a bed. Like,
Yeah.
so like,
But I talked to
so like, what happened?
It
Just like
does
walk me
feel like
through
a
this.
breakup video.
And like they're not looking at each other. They're next to each other for comfort, but they're not like, you know, like lovey-dovey.
This is giving me hope though, because if people can see this and be like, this is obviously the most enthusiastically consenting like type of relationship that I've ever seen. I see literally no issues with this, then anything is possible. You know what I mean? Like
Anything's
truly.
possible.
a lot that night, and I was attracted to you then. A little bit.
Well, we're gonna get that. Like once
Oh,
you
can
get
we
there.
pause for a second?
At what point did your brain click over?
Okay, so we're having a discussion about ennui. I looked it up for the general colloquial definition in English. Yes, in French, it is just the word for general boredom. But the general definition of ennui is a feeling of weariness and dissatisfaction or boredom. But I would say in the sense of a feeling of weariness and dissatisfaction, as I understood it, that is correct. However, if it is just to the extent of boredom, I think you're right. It's more complex than that. I thought it was as complex as the beginning of that definition, but I think you're right. There's probably a better word than ennui, but I only
Bored
understood it as
existentially.
bored existentially. There you go. Yeah,
Thanks,
that's what it is. Bored existentially is maybe what it is. A more intense form of boredom, which
So-
of course we use the French version.
Someone
of it.
also said that in some Asian cultures, they're kind of like, they don't do PDA.
Oh no, 100% no, 100% yeah. I mean, agreeing with, but 100% no, it's not something they do.
So there's a lot of factors that could play into this.
Over like, oh, he's different. He understands.
PDA is public displays of affection.
Right, but I
So,
mean,
like,
even
hugging,
then, it's like
cuddling.
it's the way they don't have to be like all over each other. They don't have to be snogging, but they can be like, there's an attitude, there's a general affectionate energy. Like my son's maternal grandma, she's from Manila. She's from the capital of the Philippines, and like she was a nurse, and like she was very much in that like Catholic, like followed by, you know, not wild culture, in the sense of like she's
Now
still
that you've mentioned it, I've never seen her give like affection like that to her husband.
Right.
But I know she loves
she
him.
loves
That's
him
so
because
interesting.
they look at each other in the sense of like she speaks to him in a not a sense in a patronizing way. She speaks to him in the sense of like, I deeply love this. She speaks to him like my mom speaks to my dad but my mom is much more affectionate, the Italian woman that she is, all over my father, who's like, yeah, I love it. But like, you know, but there's
I'm
never
used to non-emotive.
But it's
I've
like
had a lot of friends who are not as emotive.
There's never been a question in my mind as to whether the two of them love each other. Like they're both
not these two,
not them, but I mean the
in
people
real
that
life.
I'm comparing them to. Like it's
these two. I can't confidently say like, oh yeah, obviously they're bonded.
Well, and I'm even thinking like when I would go to like the general Filipino gatherings, like when my son was much younger, like even. It would be like an arm brush or this, and it was generally not a lot of like outward PDA, but it was like there was never a sense of like this. This is, like I said, a couple breaking
Korea
up.
almost illegal.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still like you get the sense of when someone looks at somebody, like they're looking at them. They really do love that person. They're talking to that person with love in their voice.
It's like how to turn me on. He understands how
even
to
if they're not like
he's
all over.
Flirting. He's using you probably didn't know the terminology of cocky funny, but like when did you know? Like, oh.
You probably didn't know like the terminology of cocky funny, so like my sense of humor was probably above you. But I promise you that I was being very...
you to Rick and Morty.
I was being very charismatic and funny. You probably just weren't picking up on it because you're not as educated. But that's okay. That's okay. This is all part of the kink community, though. It's okay that he's talking to her like this. It's part of the kink and the roles, guys. You just don't understand it. That's why I'm like, dude... I feel like he's taking things that are real, but using them as excuses for bad behavior. This is kind of like when actual deadbeat parents, like actual deadbeat dads who like are given all the chances in the world to see their kid, that she calls the child support office to make it canceled just to help him out. Like everyone's going out of their way to help him and he still finds all these excuses to show up, and then he like wants to use my videos to show her like, this is what you're doing to me. Like there's always going to be people who use things that are good and valid for nefarious purposes. And like, I'm sorry, but like, oh, you probably never heard of cocky funny before, and that's okay. Like that's probably why you weren't attracted to me at first, because you just didn't get it, but you would have been if you did.
We're only 8 minutes
That's
into
not
this
a kink.
video.
I'm sorry, guys. That's not kink. At this point, I've been trying to be accepting. I've been trying to be open-minded, but that right there is not a kink. Come on. This is because we're discussing their earliest days where she didn't even know this was a couple. She's never done couple stuff. There's no way that she was like, yeah, Alpha Dom, I love being humiliated. That didn't happen. This feels like this has all been pushed and bombarded since day one, dude.
I fucking like this guy.
Maybe when we're talking, like, about to go to sleep.
Okay. So that was through all the scenes. And we had that was one of the roughest inductions that I had, because should I ever reveal this to the world? You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
Didn't need that.
Let's boil it down. So,
Plot twist. She is the dom, and her kink is making him embarrass himself online. She's so fidgety because she's suppressing her maniacal laughter.
Honestly,
I love that art.
if that's the situation, I am 100% more okay with this.
You have honestly completely flipped my opinion on this, because I actually love the like alpha humiliation dom mommy and Andy Kaufman bit combo. Like, I'm loving
If
this.
that is honestly what comes out to be the truth, I flip 180 on this whole
Where
situation.
can I get the Alpha Dom merch? That's the only thing that's missing from the website, is like, I need the AI generated headshot with just the words Alpha Dom on it. Kind of like, you know, like up there with like Biggie Smalls, because he's at that level. Like, he is tapped into like the wisdom of the elders, so like we just gotta show some respect, you know what I mean? Like, he's nailing it. Like, Rampage 2 and 3 is going on in that bedroom.
something happened.
I also took like 2
Case
hours
closed.
to say escalate.
Oh, we'll get to that. So something had happened with the other girl that was completely out of her control, that just happened, and it kind of turned the night sour. We ended up recovering it, and then she came over multiple times after for more dates with us, and it all worked out. It's just the first one was rough, and maybe one day we'll talk about it, but I don't want to.
Give out information.
Yeah, well, technically it's you because you're the one that is being smart here, and that's a cool thing about our dynamic. Like a lot of people see me as like the dominant and think that I'm just like super misogynistic and I make all the choices and stuff. No, that's the point of her. She balances me out. She keeps me in check when like something like that. I could have
Okay.
revealed that, and I was hesitating.
So I will say it does sound like he like kind of this sounds kind of like the sub-dom dynamic that I've always understood is there's nothing about like necessarily even being a man and that there's actually a lot more power that the subs have. Some people even argue that the sub is the true dominant one in the
Yeah, I'm
relationship.
agreeing with Vienna here where it says that look where she like blinked at the camera like uninterrupted, like just she looked at the camera for like 10 seconds just blinking when he said that. I think she's
Hey, yo.
like go back and watch, dude, when he's like it just like go back like 10 seconds. Like
But
watch.
I don't want to.
Give out information.
Yeah, well, technically it's you because you're the one that is being
watch.
smart here, and that's a cool thing about our dynamic. Like a lot of people see me as like the dominant and think that I'm
Watch
just like
your eyes.
super misogynistic and I make all the choices and stuff. No, that's the point of her. She balances me out. She keeps me in check when like something like that. I could have revealed that, and I was hesitating.
You see what I mean, dude? Like that's either like help me.
Whoa.
That's either like help me or yeah, I'm gonna let him talk.
Interesting. What if like this whole thing has been her idea from the jump? Like what if she was like what if she's crafted the character of Alpha Dom?
That's what I'm saying,
and that
dude.
was like her tell.
She's the alpha dom.
Dude, I am
All these
actually
videos are
like
from
I
her
would
perspective.
love this. I love that she's the Alpha Dom of all of this. Like you pay your $3,000 and like he starts the seminar, but then it just pans to her and she's like, and now you will learn the real ways. And it just gets like absolutely nuts.
Are we gonna make it?
She is the Alpha Dom, always was. No, we probably won't.
And I turned to her and let her make the decision. So a lot of the things I do make the decisions, but there's a lot of times where I accept or understand her opinion as well, and then make a decision based off that.
That's
now, granted,
okay.
if
It's
I
just a
still
partnership.
wanted to say the story,
Sorry.
she wouldn't.
I'm not a misogynist. Sometimes I listen to and consider what she says before I make the decision. And it's like, dude, take a long walk off a short pier. I'm sorry, like listen to yourself.
I know. Yeah, there have been a couple different times. It's kind of like the same energy as like, no. I'm a good person and you should actually be thanking me because I could have been a lot worse to you. You know?
Have fought more. She would have been like, okay, I guess it's his decision on that, or whatever. Which is a cool thing about the dynamic that I don't think I really gotten or talked about or shown. But so yeah, it took you were the longest person to initiate
Ever?
or to escalate. Yeah, I think so. It took you what 2 hours to say the word escalate,
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing.
Oh my God, imagine that. You just sitting there waiting like for 2 hours before they finally say, because that's part of the first date. Every first date, by the way, like every girl gets the same first date. You like come in, you kneel against the wall, you get cavity searched, and then you are allowed to talk. But once you're ready, you say escalate, and that's when shit gets crazy. Like that's when the floor turns to lava. Like that's when his reptilian eyes glow yellow and the true power just like surges through his riz-filled veins. Like you've never seen such power.
Somebody liked meditating at random points. Like I'd ask her a question, she'd be quiet. You gotta remember, she's like blindfolded or she's handcuffed and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, can't forget that.
And she'd be quiet, like, you good? You okay? And she's like, I'm just meditating. I'm just like, the fuck? What the fuck?
I just wanted you to know I'm weird from the jump.
Yeah, yep.
This feels like a
It's okay.
genuine
Well,
moment.
normal people are boring as shit. Like,
We're getting
if I
there,
wasn't
we're
weird,
getting
I wouldn't have
there.
come up with the best fucking dating system on this fucking planet. So
Mhm.
that has results that like
That's
most people
chemistry.
can't even fucking fathom.
At the time, I used to actually have a lot of anxiety, though.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Maybe she
So
comes out.
meditating used to help me a lot.
Yeah,
Sometimes it does now, but not as much.
and you've gotten a lot better.
A lizard, if you
anxiety
will.
and stuff.
Oh, dude.
But imagine a person who already has a shit ton of anxiety in their daily life.
Yeah, then you come to some random dude's house. Well, it's his girlfriend's house.
I think that's like the hard part about me, like, kind of accepting this advice or even understanding how it would be like marketable at a wide scale level, is that like this might be good for people actively practicing like such a dramatic form of BDSM, but if they're trying to convince people why they should be doing it, has anybody changed their mind so far? Like, is anybody like, actually, this does sound like something I might be interested in, who wasn't before? I'm just curious, because so far I'm like, I can't believe that anyone's actually agreeing to this, and I don't see why they would.
Some people got whatever they got going on, but if this is...
He is the brat.
She might just be coming out of her shell. He is the brat. If she's coming out of her shell, that was a real moment there. I think my original hypothesis of him finding just genuine success.
Oh, dude, you nailed it. Like, you're absolutely right. He's the brat. Like, one thing that I've really learned so far is that to be the dom, you have to be the brat. And that's science, baby.
That is science, baby. Dom plus success equals brat.
Meanwhile, all of us like in the Switch world are just like, that's what we've been fucking saying.
Yeah.
And to do that, you still did it though.
I didn't have like a lot of experiences on dating apps and stuff at the time.
Do you think if you had, so let's ask you a question that I just thought of. Do you think if you had more experience on dating apps that you wouldn't have said yes and did that?
Maybe, I'm not sure. I think they still would have done
I think you still would have done it.
it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I just want to ask because it makes sense because I've had girls from all ages, and then clients,
I wouldn't say all ages. I would avoid that, buckaroo. That moment when you find out your date is so bored with you, she starts meditating. She literally said she was doing it from anxiety and stress, which, like, again, like, fair to a degree. I think that first dates are pretty stressful in general. But, yeah, I would just avoid, like, if you're already kind of talking about certain things, like, I don't know about all ages. Is all ages an appropriate thing to say about the kinds of partners you've had? That one's murky territory, especially as a dude. Like, even if you're trying to brag about like not being super discriminate, like I think it's okay if you say, I've dated women all ages 20 and up. Still a weird kind of random thing to say, unless you're trying to, like, the only time I think it would be appropriate is, like, let's say you're dating a woman who's like older and she expresses some kind of insecurity that you might not be attracted to her because of her age, and they're trying to reassure you, don't worry, I've found women and even older than you attractive. I think that that's a fair time to say that, but in general, try to avoid the all ages thing when discussing people you've slept with. Just you don't want to sound a little Dan Schneider-y,
Show me your feet. From all ages that admit to that. But I was thinking, like, well, maybe the reason why people, like, because you remember that video I made about how instead of bringing a girl to dinner for the first date, have her over for dinner and make her a meal, and like so many people were like, "Oh, girls won't come over to your house for the first date." Remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember how crazy, like how many, like almost all the comments were that? And that was me not telling them, the actual way I do first dates, because the way I do first dates is way more intense.
Yeah.
Be handcuffed, blindfolded, and collared right out the fucking gate after being patted down. And do not try that at home. You're getting a tiny bit of the system that is, there's a whole bunch that happens before and after that to make a girl safe, make her feel safe so she doesn't, freak out or doesn't fucking.
Might I also recommend covering that part way earlier in the 12-minute broadcast of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I think it's great that he's now covering it, but again, from a marketing standpoint, if you're going to be talking about like this level, I think the consent and boundaries thing is probably like one of the first things you should cover.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't wait until this late in the game to be like, by the way, don't try this if you're a beginner. Like, at what level do you think you're ready for that to be a first date though? What?
Cause trauma, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Did
think
you? Sorry. Did you think I was gonna be the first one to leave, or did you know I still would?
what do you mean leave? Like just leave before saying escalate?
Yeah.
I don't think I thought you were going to leave.
Yo, how many girls did this dude have in there in the Escalate camp? How many girls did this dude have locked up? It reminds me of the chick who like had all of her Tinder matches meet at like a pavilion to try to like compete for like who would be the best for them, but he's like just putting them all through the ringer right away. Of all of the things that are like the most didn't happen scenarios I could imagine, like so far a lot of this is really high up on my like didn't happen radar.
Before saying escalate, because you were still there. I was more concerned by what I was watching was, 2 hours of somebody that was overwhelmed, because usually, there's nerves built up in the beginning, right? And eventually work those nerves out. You were quite some time. So the whole time I'm wondering, like, is this too much for her? And that's why I kept that, like, I softened up on you a lot. But it could also be that the fact that I softened up on you so much was what didn't push you through it. I don't really know, because I've never had an instance happen again. And you've been through a few inductions now. And I haven't seen it again. So you're unique in that.
Silly me.
Nah, that's fun. You're gonna get different experiences, and it was interesting for me because that's something I had not experienced. So
This is such a great fair comment. Greg says, honestly, these things most definitely happen. There are guys like him all over the world, near delusional level confidence, not afraid to ask what they want, and don't care what anyone thinks. That's actually about it. That like pretty much just like sums everything up. We can probably just roll credits there, but we won't. I do want to deliver this.
How far do we get into that? Hold on. How far do we get into that?
I was trying to spare you.
No, we got to watch the end of it eventually, just not right now. I can't take any more of this guy talking to her.
I know. I wish that there was like pull up for more precise seeking. I don't know how to pull up.
He didn't put any.
They're on their phone for a bit. I know there's still quite a bit left. There's Lauren wanting to cause us pain anymore. I can't take anymore.
Let's talk about something else. What else did you got? Did you got? Good Lord.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can start wrapping it up on this impression someone did of him.
You do not have to accept her rejection. I'm a professional dating coach, and I help guys understand the female mind. Here's an example that happened this past weekend. Saturday. That's it. In real life. Example, I was talking to this girl, and she said, I'm not interested. And I said, but I'm the greatest. The greatest man ever. Tribute. She said, if you are truly the greatest man in the world, then surely you must be of many talents. Play me the greatest song in the world, and maybe I'll sleep with you. Not even looking, I reached behind me in the middle of a crowded bar on St. Patrick's Day, and my friend had my guitar waiting for me, perfectly tuned, and I pulled it out, and I played her the greatest song in the world. Needless to say, she was stunned. She said, "BU Alpha Dom, professional men's dating coach, the greatest, most alpha dominant male in the world?" I said to her, "Surely you may have noticed by the length of my fingernails that I am only a tribute, but I notice you have been seduced by his wily, flirtatious gambits. Her and all her friends and half the bar joined my ever-growing lot of women. Thanks to you, the greatest, most alpha man in the world.
That did
See how
happen.
easy it is? So if you want to learn to be a big, dominant alpha male like me and not accept a woman's rejection, click on the link below, buy my courses and boot camps. You may want to set aside a few $1,000s.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to lose it at the end there, but I mean that's what you sound like.
That's what you sound like, dude.
That is kind of what you sound like, because that's the thing about it all too, is that as much as I want to believe that this is kind of like a troll, satirical, Andy Kaufman-esque character, from everything that I've seen, I honestly believe, though, that he just genuinely, like, wants other people to think that he is, like, the best. Like, I think that this is actually just, like, a childish, like, a deep-seated childish need for grandeur. Like, it's not even enough. Like, the 6 women he has, like, none of these people will ever be enough, because he has to just, like, keep going and going and going and getting more and more acknowledgement or recognition or something. I just feel like no matter what his advice is or what advice of his might actually work, it's never actually going to work, because people like this will always be insatiable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like the issue. I totally forgot to put my wedding ring on this entire stream. Just been like naked streaming. It's on the round table. I know exactly where it is. Like, if you're going to the kitchen, you want to bring me that ring and some snackies? So anyway, I just got divorced live on stream. At least I turned off Alpha Dom. But you know what? I wanna hear from you guys, okay? As is, I don't agree with cancel culture. I don't necessarily know that you only brought one. Where's the band? Here's Mochi.
Oh, I don't know.
Come here, buddy. We gotta do some cat tax. Can you hand me the chunk so I can do cat tax? Mochi, come here. Sit in this chair.
Monsieur Moch.
Alright, guys. Now it's a real stream. It's not a stream until we get a little bit of cat tax. Purr into the microphone, Mochi. He gets the people going. But yeah, I'm curious to know, after everything that we have seen, do you think that, like, I guess here's the way that I'll ask it. How... Thank you. Thank you for the sub. How valid and helpful and worth the investment on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being like, get wrecked, nerd, this sucks. And 10 being, to be honest, he actually seems to have a credible, realistic grasp on what an ultimate, to be desired, to be achieved BDSM relationship looks like, and I do aspire to follow in those footsteps, and I would pay for such a course. -5 to... I'm very curious. 1 all the way. Elden Lion says cat, which...
Gato.
True. Not even big if true. Just true. I love that it's like the perfect, like, animation of the cat getting rained on, and then with our cat. Thank you for getting us $2, Mochi. That was all you. We'll put that into your wet cat food fund.
You're welcome.
1, because there is no 0. Yeah, I took away the 0 option. I apologize. I took away your 0. No one, come on, y'all, all throughout the entire stream, I had the alpha dom stands going. I need someone to come back into the chat to defend our good homeboy alpha dom. All right.
How do I say cat in Italian? Isn't it gatto? I know a lot of the times when I'm like, how do you say this in Italian? It's usually just the Spanish word.
Glad she likes him. There's a man for every woman. I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I know it's Spanish, but
I don't think
sometimes
that's true. Hi, Mochi.
I'm not Spanish, but it might also be Italian. It was just like spelled a little differently.
Well then, I don't know. Do you have any closing thoughts on Alpha Dom? What has been your biggest takeaway? Do you find this content overall problematic, or do you think that it was just like that one-off misunderstood video? Like, instead of, you don't need to take her rejection, he was really just trying to say, like, you don't have to give up the first time, but it just came out wrong. Like, how much charitability do you give Alpha Dom personally? What's the tripod verdict?
First, I love that everyone is... So it is gatto. It's just an extra T for Italian. That's fun to see. Glad that I've found that tends to be the case. But I think what it is, I go back to exactly what I said at the very start of when I got on here, is I think he's someone who found a lot of success in a very specific corner of the realm of pleasure, and it inflated his ego, and I don't think he ever really had any true experience outside of this. And so I think part of that is he just thought he was de facto successful, or he had nothing to compare it to, so he's like, everything is like this. And when he stepped out into not just like the public square, but like TikTok, where he clearly did not think this through.
I don't think he regrets his decision.
I don't think he regrets his decision, because I think he has gotten some attention, and I think for him, he's probably expressed this before, if he's not embarrassed, then he's probably taking any attention as good attention, like a problem child, which explains a lot. It's like, if what you're doing everybody is all right with, that's great. But you can't come on to Beyonce's internet and go, you don't have to accept no as an answer. And it's like, what? Like, what did you say? You cannot. That will get you stabbed, punched, shot, and bricked. I'm sorry. It's like, all of that together is just like, I'm just saying, like, as the father, even just before being as the father of a daughter, just being as a guy who had to talk to other guys when we would all be like, oh man, how's it going with so-and-so, or so, how's the dating, or so and this. And it's like, if I ever heard a gentleman that I was sharing a drink with go, yeah man, but like, I've learned you don't have to take no as an answer, I'd be like, that's literally rape. Like, I can't hang out with you anymore. You literally need to explain that sentence that came out of your mouth before I decide if I need to call the police or just write you out of my life.
But like, think about it though, like, if he has like a real estate background or something, don't they always tell you, like, don't just take no.
TJ never learned something with a single salesman. Actually, sales, I did real estate for 5 years, so you're right.
That's what they teach you.
I fucking hate it.
Like, no, you can keep going.
Keep going,
also,
keep pushing.
We love home math. I don't know about TJ actually, but
I don't know what home math is, but
home math is a page. He and I are mutuals. We're friends. I love home math, and he knows that. Man, TJ keeps it on him. That's what folks don't know. They do be knowing, though. All right, doggo time. Miles Parker. We got to back it up a little bit. Give these boys some room. Come on, Miles. Hugs.
Parker.
Stand up a bit. Hugs.
Hey, old man.
Come here.
No, I'm not talking to you. You're not old man.
Hugs.
Pick your mamas. You jump.
Come here, check box. Good boy. Oh, it's the big mice, baby. Who's your big boy?
I'll lift Parker up. Say hi to the camera.
You don't have to. He's an old man. Come here, Parker.
Oh, there you go. Parker.
Parker Cam. Oh, who's a good buddy? Is there anything you want to say about what it's like to be such a good boy? I do.
Yeah.
I have the most to say.
Parker is a very big boy. Miles will fill out, but Parker is... When Parker wants to push his weight around, Miles just kind of lets him.
Dog Cam.
Dog Cam.
I think what the dude's trying to say is you don't have to agree that rejecting you is the best choice for her, which doesn't mean you then have to proceed.
Hey, I think that it's weird that you're trying to support the fact that he said you don't have to accept no for an answer. He shouldn't have to explain himself. That's a remarkably bad take on his end.
I'm just saying, I think he's just saying that I think a lot of us can see
I'm sorry, Parker.
where he might have been trying to come from, but absolutely failed in his delivery.
Yeah,
Which
maybe
I think
that's
even
what
he
it is.
agrees with,
Maybe
because he did
that's what
take
it
the
is.
video down. He did take the video down.
Good. Hey, good for him on that one.
So far, so we have, what breed are they? I know that Super Chat's about to come in, but I'll answer it for you now. Parker, I was going to say, I don't know how much you can see now. Parker is part chocolate lab and boxer. Miles is, hold on, I got to look up the Carfax real quick. There's so much in Miles. Let me look up his full dog chart. Here we go. Pitbull, Staffordshire, Bulldog, Doberman, Rottweiler, Neapolitan Mastiff, German Shepherd, Belgian Malinois, Chow Chow, Husky, Labrador Retriever, Golden Retriever, Hare, and 1% Beagle.
But mostly, I'm all Labrador Retriever.
100% good boy. I'm only a little guy too. I'm like 5 feet tall, dude.
Yeah, the reason that I got the big boys is so I could feel safe that my family and kids are safe with them.
And I like big dogs.
And big dogs are just, I love big dogs.
Yeah, my final thought on Alpha Dom is that so far I do think that the viral video did ultimately get blown probably a bit out of proportion. Like, very easy to make fun of.
But the
sure,
thing is,
especially because of like the entirety of it. Like, it's not just that he said you don't have to accept rejection. It's the like that so didn't happen ass the whole train clapped story that followed then after the fact, because then he's like, in this story, he's like, oh yeah, I approached a girl. She wasn't into it at first, but then I was like, oh yeah, you got to come back to my place. And she did. And you already know what happened.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's why I was like, this has to be satire. This has to be a character, because you're embodying like the middle school, I'm going to brag about sleeping with someone I very clearly didn't sleep with mentality, like thinking you somehow won't get caught in the lie.
Yeah.
And it's like, as much as I can acknowledge that there are so many different kinks and different styles of relationship, for every single one of these to kind of cross over and culminate, and we're all supposed to believe that it's all on the up and up. It's the most consensual relationship, like, because I mean, to actually navigate this, there's got to be so much interpersonal aftercare, boundary setting, communication, and the fact that we just labored through hours of footage. To be fair, a lot of it I was just yapping and ranting away. But we went through so much, and it takes him so long to even bring up the concept of in-depth discussion of boundaries. And that part just doesn't seem consistent with how a healthy BDSM relationship should go. So as much as I'm not trying to like fully cancel this person and be like, obviously everything they're doing is like borderline throw them in jail, I would say even if you're in the lifestyle and kink community, there are way better role models.
Yeah, it's like when there have been like super cringe people that we've come across, and I know something that we hear people say sometimes is like, well, they might have some good points, but it's kind of like we always go back to, but any good points that this super problematic person has, there are
have been made
myriad, yeah, exactly. There's myriad
people.
people who are not problematic that have made it that you could be listening to instead, who aren't spouting problematic things. They're spouting things where it's like, oh, that's a great take, as opposed to like, that seems kind of harmful. And it's just, it seems like, I think because here's the thing, if he dropped all of these videos but then dropped this long one at literally the same time, I think he could have avoided all of this. Or in a different way, because I think what happened was he dropped all of these dating advice videos and then trying to like show off how like good he is or how much he knows, that it's like you're just showing us how ineffective or how like blind you are to how the normal people work. And it's like, if you had just given us this entire contextual video along with all of your weird dating stuff, we would have had the full context right away. And I feel like a lot of us would have been like, I mean, I don't agree with this, but it seems to make more sense, as opposed to like, I came in so hot, still with my hypothesis, I think still being true, but God, it's just, I know there's like, I shouldn't kink shame, but there's certain things to where I'm like,
I will say, yeah, because it's truly, it doesn't say much. I guess, like I said earlier, you could probably argue that just the terms alpha and dom should denote that this is clearly a kink space, but I don't think it does to the average person. Like, I'm just seeing male dating coach, and like, it just, a lot of this has a lot of the same stuff that a lot of dating coaches kind of utilize, is like, they kind of prey on the, oh, are you a man who's having a bad time with women? It's like, yeah, fucking probably, you know? And like trying to sell them like, well, listen,
I've
got all this. I've got all this. And like, in a way, it's kind of like, well, if you've really got something, like, it makes sense that you would want to share it. It's just that the delivery of all of this seems iconically self-serving. Like, at no point in time does he go, well, and the reason that you want to engage in this dominating behavior is because a bratty submissive type is stimulated by this or that. Like, we listen to how much long footage, and I can't think of like what he could possibly have described where he actually cares about the woman.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, oh, I can make a girl. Oh, like he says that.
But like,
I guess.
in that one video we
that's
saw was the
self-serving
closest.
brat.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is like in the video that we just saw, he was saying something that showed like care, and then he still turned it around to be like, but it was still because of me. Like at the end, I'm like, you were so close to me giving you a single W there, and you still had to come in and be like a prideful little D-bag. Sorry, you're tall. I'm sure you're gonna be like, I'm not little. I'm over 6 feet.
Because I watched a lot of his other kind of more boring, very much less viral videos, and it seems like he's just kind of regurgitating a lot of the same old dating coach stuff too. Like, a lot of it is the whole like, guys, listen, if you fucking want to fucking just fucking, because he can't say a full sentence without saying fucking for some reason.
Hey, I can't judge people for that.
Look, I said the same. Like, we cuss a little bit, but this is like just.
Oh, I cuss a lot bit. You gotta be honest. We gotta be honest.
An axolotl bit. What'd you say?
I cuss an axolotl bit.
I guess.
When I get into it, I can. If I'm trying to find my words, I can get a little sailory.
Not like this though.
Oh, okay.
But like it'll be stuff like, oh guys, like, have you heard of this one? This is classic. Like, I'm a professional dating coach, so like I've truly had to like exhaust the ends of the earth to learn this one. If a girl is complaining about something, just listen instead of trying to provide a solution.
I saw that one, and it's like, I mean, yes and no.
I was like, okay, everybody knows this. This is like
It's
beginner
like,
book
but
stuff.
here's
though.
my thing. Even with that advice, I've never fully agreed with it to where I'm like, I agree to where I have times where I want to like, just like, blah, I need to, but I'm also one of those people that will then ask, you know, what do you think? What is your take on that? I know I just kind of threw a lot of shit at you. Is there anything coming off? But I'm also a friend to where if someone's like, hey, can I like vent to you? I'll say, yeah. And then at the end I'll go, okay, now this is just me, you know, take it or leave it. I'm just shooting in the dark here, and I'll just offer my little bit. And it's not like you have to listen to me, but I've let them get their shit out. And a lot of times
I agree
they're
with
so
you, but I don't
exhausted
want
after that to where it's like, hey, I'm your friend who I've just earned the kind of like social currency to be like, now you have to listen to me a little bit. But if I don't come in going, now let me tell you something about you that you don't know, it's got to be the, you know, all right, this is just how I took it, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. And a lot of times that's all the person needs is like, let them just see that they're like Dragon Ball Z fighter, just like,
But yeah, at the same time, like, if you're gonna sit there and tell me that I have to accept when a person is absolutely refusing solutions so that they can marinate their own problems, like, sorry. Like, that's asking a lot of me, like, because you're just asking me to remain complacent.
right. Well, that's the thing is that's when I also let them get it out, but I also go,
Sorry.
okay, and this is just me, take it or leave it. And as long as you don't frame it in the,
1 second.
you know, as long as you don't frame it in the sense of like, you're wrong, if it's just the, well, this is kind of like, correct me where I'm wrong here, this is what I heard, let me know what I missed. I took a bite, I'm sorry. It was a fat donut, I'm sorry. You never eat the full donut! I feel that they're usually at least willing to be like,
I was crying over coughing.
I don't know, it just feels like, and that's the thing is, if the person immediately goes, I don't want your advice, go, okay, all right. Then don't push, then go, okay, you know, then you just say, I'm glad I was able to be a sounding board for you. Because now they know you're a safe person to talk to about this. And if you really want to double down, go, everything you shared, safe with me. You know, and if you ever got to come back and talk about it or just yell at someone about it, I'm a safe person to yell to.
TJ's innocent. I never saw him bite that donut. Well, he just told on himself. So.
No, you guys, listen.
You
I'll
had
absolutely
an
admit.
alibi,
I'll
but you
absolutely
destroyed
admit.
it.
I went back. You can go back and watch the live stream. You'll watch me come in after I left to get her ring. I'm chewing something. It was the donut.
Wow, you fully like revealed that clue.
We didn't see
mystery.
shit. Everyone in chat.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
funny-
See if you can find where. Sorry. See if
Calm down. Let me talk a little bit.
Sorry,
let me
I'm
have
excited.
my show. All right. We're gonna close it out. Okay? You know what? I should let you. Do you want to get out like one last big rant?
No, I do want to answer. Someone asked who my favorite One Piece character was at the very start of stream. The answer is Buggy the Clown, and will always be Buggy the Clown until they give me reason otherwise. That's it.
Okay. Good. Any last questions for TJ before we wrap this up?
Good.
'Cause
They're seeing the real
listen.
dynamic now.
he's in rant mode, so if you get him going,
Yeah,
we're gonna make this last another like 30 minutes, okay?
You won't believe what happened.
But yeah, I'll end on this. Someone, I think it was Drifter's Workshop earlier, had said in the chat that like it was pretty much ever since the 50 Shades of Grey Inception that the lifestyle began getting filled up with, I believe he called them tourists. And I think that's kind of what's happened. Obviously, this is from the outsider looking in. I'm not in the lifestyle, so I might not be the best to observe and commentate on this. There's a lot that I just learned today. But it feels as though... Sorry, changing of the season allergies. It feels as though my initial gut instinct that maybe this lifestyle was not being practiced as well as the larger lifestyle would like to see practiced, and especially not being taught the way that the majorative members of the lifestyle would like to see it be taught, might be leaning toward correct. But as always, I invite you all to absolutely debate, roast, tear apart my side of things and offer your own down below in the comments. I will say at this time, if you haven't yet, you definitely need to make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little notification bell. If you've already subscribed to this channel, go out and find one you haven't subscribed to.
Like
go out
mine.
and find OTL Rook on Twitch, Instagram, TikTok,
And
and
YouTube.
Facebook, and YouTube. Obviously, follow the Dadvocate.
Please follow the Dadvocate.
Obviously, that's the thing to do.
Why we're here.
Yeah, let us know. Do you think that Alpha Dom is actually in the lifestyle and well-intentioned, if not everyone's cup of tea? Or do you think that dude's a total fraud and needs to go back to school before trying to claim to be an ascended master? I don't know. I'm curious to hear from you guys. What's your final takeaway, TJ?
My final takeaway is exactly, I actually just feel more validated with my hypothesis. No longer being a hypothesis, I feel that I can prove it and move it to a theory now. Waiting to be, basically an idea waiting to be proven wrong. To where I think he has actually found success. And I just think that this may have been the only place where they have found success. Maybe they found it early enough to where they thought that this is more normalized in the general scheme of culture than it truly is. And so maybe they came in with the false amount of confidence. I just think that they were unaware of how fringe this was. And so to come in and think that you can just talk about things. And so I was sitting here thinking, and on the way into where I'm like, oh, I'm going to come in and get to talk about this with her. I'm like, if I was under the pretense, under the foundational understanding of everybody in the conversation, this is exclusively about extreme alpha subdom, dynamics, then everything he said is way less cringy. It's still cringy, but it's still like, oh, through this filter, I get where your confidence is coming from. And also why maybe you're not ticking all of the traditional dating or traditional attractive boxes, but you still think you're getting so much success because you're pulling from a very hungry and thirsty pool who's not also expecting the same traditional boxes to be checked, just someone who knows how to do the kink correctly. You know?
It was giving very, you know how a lot of partner shamers truly, genuinely had no idea their shit would blow up?
Yeah.
They really thought they were gonna hit the right side of the algorithm
and have nobody else find it.
There would be no consequences.
Yep, it's just those people.
And it was just reminding me a lot of that energy. But instead of, there's literally no shame. This man is beyond shame, which I think is a good thing in a lot of ways. But I also think that I think he thinks that the cockiness is cute. I think that he thinks that it's part of the charm, and in reality it's a big part of what kind of diminishes the believability about it.
Yeah, I think that you can be beyond shame, but you should always retain your humility.
Yeah.
You know?
Well said.
There's
it's
nothing...
the lack of humility for me. I know it doesn't make sense that we want to humble Dom, but
that's the thing though, is in every in my realm of political stuff and people talking about things, the best definition of healthy masculinity is you can be strong, but you're not out there. You're showing humility. There's a silent confidence in it. You can even still be a silly little guy, but there's still an energy about you to where it's
so over the top. I'm literally
that's
the best.
The thing. There's no humility. He's just bragging.
Women are praying to be with a man.
Exactly.
That's literally what he says on his website.
Yeah, he's showing zero. No, there's not a shred of humility or being humble in him, and that's just making everybody want to make fun of him, and want to tear him down, because it's like gross, dude. Like this is so unattractive.
My personal vote is this being the most epic, iconic, like undefeatable Andy Kaufman and Dom Reptilian Mommy duo of the century, and that they are going to just keep getting more and more extravagant and trolling us for the dollar as time goes on, and we're all gonna end up laughing really hard about it. That's my sincerest hope, because that's a way better outcome than like this person actually being like dangerous or predatory, you know? Like, I definitely don't think it's that deep. I don't think this man is an absolute danger to society necessarily, but I do think that he's the kind of guy that like you would see at an event, and he would find a way to like shoehorn himself into every conversation,
Oh,
like one up
100%.
everyone and be like, oh yeah, you sold your GameStop for this much, I sold my stock for this much, and like, oh yeah, this one time I actually did something even cooler, and it would be really annoying. So I I don't think he's the worst. That's the Advocate's opinion. Not not well,
No means
not
no.
the worst.
No means no.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to end on. Is that you do not only do you have to accept rejection, but you should get very used to it. Like, here's the thing too, also, like, not to be like, I'm actually better at dating advice because take this, but like in my experience as a woman, and again, all you have is he said, she said. So you can either take my word or Alpha Dom's word. Up to you, right? In my experience, when the women that I know and in my past, if a man makes a move on me or on a woman that I know, she rejects him, and he literally plays it so fucking cool and is like, sweet, have a good one, like to a point where he doesn't diminish her or attack her or ask why, just is literally like takes it on the nose and keeps going, they have the highest chance of her actually following up and being like, actually, let's talk. But the guys who, as I said, like try to keep fighting it, convincing her that she's wrong for rejecting him, trying to ask her or grill about it, or like just won't leave her alone, I feel like the chances go down dramatically. So again, I don't think his advice is dangerous or predatory or that he needs to be canceled. I just think he's wrong. I think he's wrong, a little bit too cocky, and I think a little bit too much of a troll to be taken that seriously. And I think that he'll probably have a lot of success as a troll, especially because there's a lot of women who are happy to join the troll campaign and like play a character in this bit.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's much more serious than that.
And looking in with Victor B, I've been meaning to do a live stream of just like nerd D&D talk on my channel, so I'll maybe do that tomorrow since I have it off. It's my first day off this week, so I know.
And I will not be streaming, so if you're like, I need that tribe.
I'd gladly answer it here, but that could get me into a whole rule set tangent that I'd rather just do on my channel than infect her stream with an extra 20 minutes of D&D stuff.
Elden Lion says I'm gonna test that theory.
Do it. I think people are gonna stay on this guy.
Yeah, accept one rejection and reject another, and then see how it plays out. I have a feeling I already know, but look, I'm not a mind reader, as our daughter would say. I'm not Bruno. But alright, we're gonna go, we're gonna eat some food and hang out with each other and stuff like that. But thank you guys so much for another amazing live stream and going over this little TikTok-y situation with us. Join me at least again. Our teacher's going to be joining me for this one. But on Friday, we're live streaming again, same time, 11:30 a.m. EST. And we're going to be talking about a woman with a satanic throat tattoo who doesn't understand why she can't get hired. Casual little topics. Casual little Baphomet throat tattoo topics. Okay, guys, you're the best. Until soon. Bye.